and Bird Nerd. Thank you for subscribing. You've been subscribed for a minute. Thank you for subscribing. Hey everybody, it's Quilt Nerd, and we're all pretty nerdy for quilts. And if you haven't seen the show before, if you're here, you're either here because you just clicked, and you might be like, this is not for me. But you know what? I think it is. Okay. I think it is for you. I had to see if I was muted. I've only been doing this months, only a matter of months. And all of us, almost, except if you clicked, if you were in Twitch and you just clicked, then you've probably been doing Twitch for more than a matter of months, but we haven't. And we're new at it, and we like it. We have a good time. And so, yeah, we talk about quilts, but really what that means is that we talk about the world, and we talk about art and philosophy and what else is there? Art and philosophy and quilts and things. So when you trace the history of a quilt, when you look at quilts in terms of design and technique and where in the world they come from and who made them or who might have made them, you start to get a picture of, human nature. You start to get a picture of perhaps yourself. The quilt is a really amazing thing. And somebody just said the other day, hey, Myra, thanks for cheering. I cheer you back. I have changes to the soundboard tonight, by the way. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be really good. So, somebody mentioned the other day, where did I hear it? But the point was made, and I've heard it before, that, when you're born, you're wrapped in cloth. You're wrapped in textiles, right? The baby is born and you wrap it in a blanket. And when you die, you're wrapped. Oh, was it Penny Sisto? I think Penny Sisto, we loved her work on a show last week, right? I think last Tuesday, the midday show, or Thursday. So, so we have textiles around us our whole lives, and they have a huge part to play in our humanity. It's really true. You're wearing clothes now. Maybe you're not. I don't really want to know. But I do want to see you in the chat. You don't have to tell us that you're unclothed, but I hope you say hi, because we're a very welcoming group. But it's really true that, hey, Rhonda, thanks for subscribing. We have a giveaway. At 200 subs, I'm going to give a quilt away. Yeah. So stick around if you want to hear about that. But yeah, we have quilts in our lives, we have fabric in our lives, and it's really important, and it's material culture, and we're really nerdy about that. And so we talk about quilts on this show, and through quilts, we talk about the whole world. Oh my God. And there's so much to do. By the way, I saw a first-time chatter here. There's so much going on in this show tonight. Like, I have a lot of notes, and I want to tell you about what's happening. But who is the first? I saw it was. I just want to welcome you if you're the first time. If you've never chatted before. Jan Make Stuff, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. The subscriptions really encourage me. This is a new thing. Like I said, it's most quilters, not all. Quiltoni is awesome. You should check out her channel. But most quilt people aren't on Twitch because it's something that they didn't, it's just new for everybody. But YouTube is like glutted and full of so much stuff. To me, YouTube feels like Facebook, and Instagram was like this different thing than Facebook, and so people were going over to Instagram. And I feel like Twitch, since it's built for live streaming, and everybody's going to be live streaming their lives soon, this is my prediction, that Twitch, since it's built for this, I think people are going to use it more for non-gaming content. I don't know, I could be wrong, and that's okay, because I'm having so much fun. I don't really care, but it's new, for a lot of people who are in this like quilt world jam thing. And so the subscriptions, and like, it's like a vote of confidence, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing, Rhonda. Oh my God. So, and I know a lot of you have subscribed before, but you're like re-upping your subscription, which is awesome. But who was that? Was it Bonnie? I think it was a Bonnie. We have a couple. Bonnie. Bonnie from Village Quiltworks. I don't know if you're from Village Quiltworks, but it's Bonnie Village Quiltworks, and we're really glad you're here. And if you see those welcome baskets, those are for you, because those are welcome baskets to welcome you into the chat and into the community. It's a pretty cool group. I'm like really cool. yeah, I mean, we talk about stuff and we have sound effects for like smart things that people say. They're pretty smart and funny. They're funnier than me. I'm really glad they're here because then I don't have to be as funny. Okay, so everybody's here. Sandy tries. Tonight, I'm not going to go through the whole, I go through the whole list. I like to say hi to everybody who comes in. But tonight, I think I better be careful with time. Look, you know what? I think that, and then watch, we'll be done, in an hour. We're not going to be done in an hour. But, the live stream format is really great because you can go as long as you want to go, as long as you need to go. And that's really freeing, and it's really indulgent. And if you have a cool group of people, there's the party, and then there's the after party. And there's the after party. And then it's the next night, and you just might as well keep going. Anyway, so the cool thing is about this format is that you don't have to limit yourself. So it's like live television, except you don't have to, cut it off when Columbo comes on later. I've never watched Columbo in my entire life, but you know what I'm saying. And the other good thing about this live stream platform, this video magazine, as Mark Wesley called it. Where's Mark Wesley? Where are you, Mark? We have visuals, and podcasts are wonderful, and television shows about quilts are wonderful. But the cool thing is about live streaming is that you have the best things about both platforms. You have the live aspect, and you can replay these shows on YouTube. They always end up on YouTube. Eventually, if you're a subscriber, you can watch the replays as soon as I get done with the stream, because they go up on my Twitch channel and you can watch them immediately, video on demand. But you get the live component and this energy, right, of live television. But and so that's good, right? But then, and with a podcast, it's really wonderful because you get all this specific content for quilt making and quilt loving. But with a podcast, you can't see things. And so I really love this. I love this format. I think it's really important. I think it's going to be bigger for quilt people. I know I'm giving you some exposition here, but I think I want to say that because this is new, and I've been really playing around with the tools and things. Like, we're going to do a quiz tonight again, and a poll. Really important poll. Really, actually very important. Very soon we're going to do that, but I think more and more people will be live streaming, and I think Twitch, it's exciting because Twitch is putting more attention into making the platform not just gaming, and it's not now, and it hasn't been the whole time, but it's mostly gamers. But they're doing more like lifestyle content and putting energy behind making the Twitch platform a place where lots of different things can occur. And I don't know, I could be wrong. I've been wrong. But I think, it takes 2 years to build a platform, really, on any social media thing, like a big, like a significant platform. I don't even know what significant means. But it means to me, it means that, like, in 2 years, we're going to find out if I/we were right. Or we're just going to hang out together. And that's fine. Because basically, I'm just streaming my research. And you all get to just be excited about it with me. And that's all I ever wanted, was just to show all the cool stuff that I find when I'm like researching for lectures or papers or all kinds of things, So, wow. Okay. So I don't know. I'm feeling the love tonight. I gotta say, Miger 8 Cats, thank you. The visual is the best, right? Visuals are so good. We're looking at quilts. We're talking about quilts. Quilty Nancy, thank you so much. You just subscribed. It's been over 7 months with the nerds. It's getting better all the time, right? You remember those first shows? I mean, I'd like to forget. I actually deleted my first 3 streams because basically it was just me going, what? And I was eating pizza. Now I eat chips. But pizza was too much. It was too much. Shelly Sutton is here. Oh God, everybody's here. Okay. People are watching Columbo. It's date night on Quilt Nerd. It's so date night. I'm seeing names of people who have quilts in this show. So here's what's going to happen. So yeah, I can't say hi to everybody because we have a lot to do. And I'm serious. So here's what the show's going to be. We're going to do lots of, I got a few announcements, official announcements. And you know, the intro is important because it helps me relax, because I'm very, very, very nervous before the show starts, always. I can't tell you how nervous I am always before the curtain goes up. And so this helps me kind of like, and then, and if you're new, we wait until about 10 minutes after the hour for me to come on, because people hang out and they come, you know, the notifications go out at different times. So that's not me being late. It's by design. So, first announcement. We are likely going to have a special guest on Thursday. Thursday, the show is at 11 a.m. It's the midday show. My mom is coming into town. And she is coming into town because we have dinner plans with the fam on Thursday night. But she's going to be driving in, you know, things can happen with traffic and so forth. But we talked about it, and she's like, you can tell people that I'll be there, but I might be late. So that's fine. Mom, don't speed. But that's really exciting, right? Thanks, Shelly. Mom, yeah, so Mom's coming. She's coming into town. She has a business to take care of. So she's going to be here, and here I am in the office. We rented an office a week ago today, I think. So I'm here in the office after hours, and she'll be here, and it'll be really great. And one of the things I have to show to you tonight is it's a preview of what I want to do with my mom. It's really funny. So, we'll get there. So, Mom on Thursday. Hey, Dana. You're watching at work. Mom, you're going to be there. Yes. Are you going to... My mom's watching, everybody. Mom, will you be here on time? 11 a.m. Central? I'll wait. Oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, because I need to buy a second set of makeup. I didn't have time to go home. I don't know what's happening. Kenny, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the Quilt Nerd community. You're part of the community already, but now it's like extra good. The internet is working at the moment. Okay, let's shoot for noon. Okay, that's cool. So the show will begin at 11, and Marianne will arrive by noon. Okay, so it might be a longer stream, because we want to use you, Mom. Well, but you know, sometimes you're like, you've been on the show and you're like, I need to go do laundry now. Bye. So we'll see. But I'm going to preview what we're going to do, and it's okay. Sandy, I think you're sick. I think you need to stay home on Thursday and watch the show. Kenny, wait, you're on a 3-month streak of subscribing. I apologize. Pemperito, thank you very much. Okay, so Mom's going to be there. Mom, one of the notes I have on my Quilt Nerd content plan is the puppy quilt pattern. Do you remember this? I'm not scolding you. I don't mean to be flip and silly. You were going to maybe write up that puppy quilt pattern. Do you think you can still do that? Did you work on it at all? I'm putting you very much on the spot live while you're in the chat, but I forgot about it. But then I was going through emails and notes and things like that, and I remembered or saw it, you know? So if you... Mom, if we can find the time, I'll buy you that extra set of makeup. Don't say that, because then somebody might be like, oh, I guess I'm not going to Subscribe. Mary's mom is going to take her to buy some makeup. You know what? That sounds great. That would be awesome. You forgot about the puppykins block. Well, that's what the quilt is going to be called, is puppykins. And you should. Thanks, Miss Eleni. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing. When we get to 200, what quilt giveaway? So subscribe. Yes, subscribe. Okay. So Mom's going to be here. Puppy quilt pattern. Mom, think about it. And now, here is the other thing. This is a big deal. This is big. Oh, we're almost at a hype train. Melty, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. We're getting there. We're really getting there. Thank you. So here's the deal. And this is big. Don't stop subscribing. Please don't. Quilt Alive. That's Mary Kate Waldvogel. I mean, it is, because you were here before. Mary Mary Kay Waldvogel, subscribe to the show. Thank you. Good night. Okay, here's the scoop. The Thursday midday show at 11 a.m. It's been on for months because I wanted to be consistent. I deliver what subscribers subscribe for. I mean, I do 3 shows a week at least. Every other week, we do 4 shows a week. But I got to tell you, I'm trying to make this thing work. And I was looking at my analytics. I'm not I don't know. They make it pretty easy. There's a chart, Thursday midday show, lowest attendance. And I'm not sure. And look, this is new, right? We've talked about it. It's very new. So I'm going to change the time on Thursday and see what happens. Because we're all along for this ride and I need to, what business isn't going to tweak this or tweak that or I don't know. So it's great. I love doing the show at 11 a.m. But we got to make this thing work, We have to adapt to the marketplace. So thank you. Pem Burrito gifted a tier 1 sub to Quilt Life. Oh, okay. Pem, we have you to thank for Mary Kay Waldvogel being a subscriber. That is so cool. And Word and Bird Nerd gifted the sub to Melty. Okay, I need to be looking at my other thing. I've started to change the thing. Anyway, okay, yes, I've started to change the thing. So here's the poll. This is the first poll, okay? Because I have an idea. Manage poll. Okay, I'm going to do a poll. New poll. Which time slot excites you? Oh, time slot is 2 words. Okay, which time slot excites you? Which time slot change? Wait, I had this all in my mind. Okay, which time slot excites you more? Vis-a-vis Thursday show, okay? Anonymous cheer, thank you. I respect your anonymity and appreciate your cheer. Okay, so hey, we did a hype train. I feel very Twitch right now. I feel extremely Twitch. All of these things are very twitchy. Okay, so Thursday evening. So there's a Thursday show. Thursday's good. If I do a show on Wednesday, then I've got Thursday, Wednesday. Anyway. I worked on this a long time today. Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Central, just like the Tuesday night show, which does great, it's doing great. Thursday evening at 7 p.m. or Thursday morning show. There's a live streamer I love to listen to, and she goes live at 7:30 in the morning, and I have to tell you, it's pretty awesome because I listen to her while I'm getting ready, and she doesn't have a lot of, there's not a lot happening on the screen, but oh Lord, hey, Myra's maybe the Myra morning show. So I'm just gonna put 7 a.m. I'm gonna put 7 a.m. because maybe it'll be this maybe people will cotton to that. Okay, so I hope I did that poll. I hope I worded it well. Which time slot excites you more vis-a-vis the Thursday show? So the poll, by the way, if you want to vote, you get to click a button, because I figured that out, and it's at the top of the chat. So wherever the chat box that you're looking at, it should be right at the top of the chat. And I've got it on for 10 minutes. And so I'd really like to know, the morning show sounds fun to me, but if that's no, and you want an evening show, that's great. That's prime time. It's all good. But I thought I would take the temperature of this morning show idea. Having coffee, hanging out, looking at your day runner, getting some Quilt Nerd stuff to start your day. I don't know. I like the mornings. I'm a morning person. Mom is as well. So, okay, so that's the poll. It'll be up for 10 minutes. And wait a minute, we have a new Quilting Nancy. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, you gifted a sub to Earth Girl Now. Earth Girls Are Easy was one of my favorite movies for a very long time. I suppose it is. And Jody Gers, Robin's Nest has gifted you a subscription. That's so cool. you get a link to the Discord server. We have a really good time on our Discord, and you can only get a link to that if you subscribe. So that's really cool. Thank you to the gifter people. Let's see. So, 5 a.m. Hey, Dee Marie. So the thing is, if people really like the morning show idea, we can tinker with the time. You know, maybe it's 8 a.m. So it's like, you know, I don't know, but we'll get a sense of whether it's a really bad idea or people kind of like it. So Hani, hi. Have I shared the Nepali quilt for the giveaway yet? No, I have not. I have not shared that tonight, but I will after the break. I'm giving away this really wonderful quilt from Nepal once we get to 200 subscribers. Okay, let me go over here because I did this. Faith gave out 2 community subs. That's so awesome. And thanks for following, Air Knight. So much is going on. Okay, so we got the poll going. That's that. That's good. Puppy quilt, my mom, awesome. We're going to do a quiz later, and I have like a thing to help you figure that out because we did it for the first time last time, and we learned a lot. And I think we'll learn more this time, and then everything will be great. Okay, so let's get into this content, okay? That was I don't know, we settled in. Okay, so we always start the show with a different quilt behind me, a different image. All of the cheers, people, thank you so much. So we start with something different because there's so much content. The show can be on for a very long time because there's so much to say about quilts in the world and what they mean and the beauty of them. So we can start with a different quilt every time. This is a quilt adjacent object. This, what you're looking at, is a detail shot of this. And this is a baby carrier from China. This particular one, so I have 2 different ones to show you, okay? And I printed off a piece about this from ChinaDaily.com, which is a Chinese publication. This is the USA version of it, or the USA one. Hey, Lillian and Kenny. I am twitching. And Faith Quilts, thank you so much. Wow. Welcome, Christmas and Quilty. I feel like I know who that is. So this article is about Chinese baby carriers, and that's what you're looking at here. And Marianne Tea Cake suggested I look at these some time ago, and I had seen one of these, and when I was going through a few things, I was like, oh yeah, Marianne, I gotta do this. So I'm going to read to you from this article as we look at 2 different versions of these baby carriers. And I had this particular picture in my big folder of fascination, all these things that I save and keep as I go through the quilter net. This one, I thought it was from the Smithsonian. It isn't, because I looked back, I went into their collections and I couldn't find it. The second one I have for you is from an auction site, and I found a number of them on auction sites, so this one might have been from there too. But regardless, here's some information about these. And this particular one is from Zhuang, Zhuang. I am not familiar with the Chinese language, and there's so much to do. I definitely should have gone through the Google Translate and heard some things, but you'll see why I was not able to do all of the things I wanted to do. Okay, so this is by Lin Qi from China Daily in 2016, and it's called Rich Symbols of Ethnic Culture. So 2016, so she's talking about a show, okay? A handicraft show, here's what the opening image was. A handicraft show at the National Art Museum of China is displaying pieces of fabric lovingly embroidered by women from the country's south. Between the soaring, lush mountains of southwest China, are villages of ethnic groups where women pass down exquisite embroidery traditions through generations. Among the many items they produce is the bei shan, or baby carrier. Women use colored threads to create a variety of patterns. Hey, thanks, Padma. Zachros, welcome to the show. you've been called to come here tonight. I think stick around. I think you'll like the show. Women use colored threads to create a variety of patterns on a piece of indigo dyed fabric to make it. Okay. Oh wait, there's more. Okay. They use the carrier, which has 2 straps, to swaddle their babies and carry them on their backs when farming, doing housework, or going to fairs and socializing. Here's the other one. This one's really great. Wow, right? The carrier, which protects the new lives, has significant meaning for those living in a difficult life in the remote mountainous area where they face natural disasters, threats from wild animals, and diseases. Also, it showcases different ethnic cultures through the stitching techniques that girls from the different communities learn. Isn't that wonderful? Look at that pink and blue and like beige. Isn't that good? Whoa, we received a level 3 hype train emote. I'm going to share it. Let the channel know you've earned a new hype train emote. You've earned a new hype train emote. We have a thing that we only get if we do what you all are doing, which is really awesome. Thank you. Kenny says, we use R&B as a call to prayer here. R&B. I probably missed something. Did I miss something in the chat? I might have. R&B. Okay, there's a lot going on. I will say that there is a lot going on. It's all HSTs in that wonderful medallion. I know. This color palette, I mean, I know like what's happening. Part of the color palette is the patina of this, baby carrier. It's faded, it's, older. Mid 20th century, I think, is when most of these were made. The last one certainly was mid 20th century. But, oh my God. I mean, it's just, oof, it's gorgeous. Also, the show showcases different ethnic cultures through the stitching techniques. Oh, I said that. The creativity of these women is being celebrated at a handicraft exhibition called Attachment to the Hometown at Beijing National Art Museum of China. This was in 2016, so this is a while ago. The exhibition has around 150 baby carriers from 8 ethnic groups, including the Miao, Dong, Shui, and Yi. Sorry, the janitors are coming by. I'm in the office. Okay. Yi from Guizhou, Hunan, and Yunnan provinces, as well as the Guangxi and Zhuang Autonomous Region. Okay. The earliest carriers on show were made in the late Qing Dynasty, while the latest are from the 1980s. Wow, look at this. Okay, so this is the back of that lower portion. How is that? Felt like sweets. Hey, Charles. How? They are really noisy. It was, yeah. They'd never come by before when I was live, so I never noticed it. But yeah, they're doing their thing for sure. So, the R&B. Okay, got it, Kenny. Thank you. So, how large are they? This is a very good question. You know what? Maybe they might say, hang on. We shall see. They might tell us, but the nerds are really good at like Googling things very quickly and then putting things in the chat, which is great for me because I don't have to, I can rely on a lot of you, which is really nice. Okay, so Wu Weishan, director of the NAMOC, says the carriers on display are a testimony to the brilliance of ethnic needlework, which is now giving way to mass production items. Sorry. Quote, the art of making baby carriers is a way for the users to showcase their beliefs, their fairy tales, and their respect for nature. The item helps them bring the audience closer to the soul of these ethnic groups. Look, this is the back. I mean, could you die? It's so great. Oh, indigo dyed, it looks like denim, but it's cloth, it's indigo dyed. So good, right? Thanks, Robin. You know what, Kitty Hannah, what you missed is that you need to get one of these Chinese baby carriers for your little monster. This is a baby carrier. Isn't that great? That's the back. That's the back. It's like even better than that on the front. Wu continues, the director of the museum says, these, quote, these are records of human society, these baby carriers, unquote. The history, culture, and aesthetics of these groups are seen in the vivid patterns, both realistic and abstract, in the carriers. The designs often feature animals, too. And while the Miao from Guizhou's Zijin County prefer geometrical shapes that resemble fish, the Yi feature ram horns to symbolize wealth and use them to create whirlpool-like designs. And that's the one I opened with. I mean, that seems sort of whirlpool-like, right? Although this is from the Zhuang region, so there's probably differences. I mean, there are differences, and we're learning about that here. Some baby carriers also sport butterfly designs. A Miao legend has it that 12 eggs laid by a butterfly. Of those eggs, one hatched into Jianguang, the ancestor of the Miao people. The Shui believe that there were 9 sons. Hey, thanks, Good Quilt. Welcome to the Quilt Nerds. We have a good time over here. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate it. The Shui believed there were 9 sons in the ancient times, and one day a mother with her infant searched for water and was about to faint because of the fierce sun. A giant butterfly appeared, however, spreading its wings to provide them with shade. It's amazing. It's amazing. Women from the city of Guizhou, Yunnan, use abstract designs representing the sun, moon, and stars on their carriers to show their respect for nature. They hope these symbols can give energy to their babies. Kitty Hannah, you're probably like, please don't give energy to my baby. I would like to watch Quilt Nerd. Please, no energy. But you do say I used a cloth wrap to carry the little monster when he was smaller. He's 40 pounds now. 40 pounds? Faith, I agree. Beautiful colors. I mean, these, look at this. You know what this reminds me of? This stuff. Is there a better, well, let's look at the full thing. I mean, this looks very Amish, right? The half square triangles. I mean, just that like deep sort of jewel toned, magenta and that red. I mean, it's just wonderful. And it's plain, no printed cloth there. So there's much more to say. Mothers also attach tassels, perfumed medicine bags, and shiny materials to their baby carriers to scare away evil spirits and demons. So, I mean, these are wonderful. And there's more here about that exhibit that it was in 2016 at the, reminder, National Art Museum of China. So let's just go through these really quickly once more because they're beautiful. Look at the purple. The purple cloth is so great. I'm so hungry. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's the intro, That's the intro. You don't even know what's going to happen. You don't even know where we go from here, but I do, and it's really fun. Okay. Good stuff, right? Pretty fun. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, So Demented. Okay, good. Felt Like Sweet says, found a source saying that the blue-pink half-square triangle one is 36 by 41. Baby quilt sized. Nice. That's the sound for the Nerd Award, And people find really cool information or just know things. Sometimes people just know. They're like, oh, a baby carrier from China is, and they just know. So they get an award. Susan R. Michael, hello. Quilty Mouse, did they say the type of fabric? So it was indigo dyed cotton fabric in one of them. But, I mean, isn't this... No, it looks, I don't know. It's not silk. It looks so gorgeous and, sort of lush. But it wouldn't be silk. I mean, it's a baby. But somebody else might be able to find it out. Okay. So we had it. Did the poll end? I think the poll ended. Let me see what it said. What did you all say? View results. Thursday at 7 p.m. Okay. Okay, that's pretty clear. So Thursday at 7 p.m., the evening show won 67%. But 33% of people were like, yeah, a morning show sounds good. But this is really good to know. Okay, Thursday night show. On Quilters Newsletter Friday, it means Thursday, Friday, Saturday night show. And I'm good with that. I'm cool with that. That's all good. It might be, yeah, no, that's it. Okay, good to know. Thank you for voting. It's really, really helpful. Market research. Okay. Excellent. We did it. We did a poll. Okay, so next up is there's a few little things, and then we go, so the first half of the show, these little things, okay? And then it's Quilt Nerd on Parade. So all of your, the quilts and the images that you sent me from what you're working on, a couple images of what you're reading, or things, that quilt books that you got that you've been loving. That's the second half of the show. So the first half is just some little things, because the second half of the show is this, it's the meat. So I don't know if my mom is still in the room, because miscellany. Listen, I don't think the morning show idea is off the table. Just, in general, like it might be. I don't know. The Friday night Quilters Newsletter Friday, that's the show that can kind of move around a little bit. A morning show appeals to me too. So anybody who was into the morning show, don't give up. Don't give up. Okay. So, I did something weird with the chat. Okay. Word and Bird Nerd has a link in there for some baby carriers. That's great. Okay, Mom. So you're there. So here's what I'm going to do with you on Thursday. And since you're here, you get a sneak peek too, which is okay. But I went down to the storage locker in our building and got 2 other huge boxes of books that were down there that wouldn't fit in our house. And one of the books that I unearthed in one of those boxes was this one. And I was looking through it, for content, right, for the show, for tonight or some other day. And I knew you were coming in, and I'm like, what are we going to do with Mom? And I just had this burst of inspiration, because there were a lot of great quilts in here, but there were also quilts in this particular book, which is by Suzanne Pfeffer. Yeah, Susanna Pfeffer. And I'll, there's a Quilt Nerd link if you want to get this. SJ, you did not miss the parade. SJ Pepper, the Quilt Nerd Parade, the Quilts on Parade is the second half of the show. So this book will be available through my affiliate link after the show. And I hope you'll get it. It's a good one. So here's what we're going to do with Mom. I put new sounds on the soundboard, okay? So Mom, when you're here, we're going to go through quilts from this book and some others, and you're going to give your, instant reaction to whether it's hot or not, okay? You can either have I love it, it's okay, or I don't like it. And here are the sounds that you get to put, and you get to push it on the soundboard, okay? So here are the sounds that I think this is what we should do. Okay, if you like it, if you are sort of like, hey, why is this doing that? I don't like that. If you're like, it's this. And then, okay, good. And then, oh, I did this so nice before. And then if you don't like it, I'm not saying you don't like this one, but then if you don't like it, it was kind of hard to come up with a sound effect that wasn't mean. But then if you don't like it, it's this. So if you like it, if you're like, and if you don't like it, so you get to push buttons. I think it's going to be really fun. Of course you love it, SJ Pepper. You would come up with something like this. So that's what we're going to do, Mom. And I think it's going to be super fun. So, and I'll give you, this is the last preview, because then we're going to move on, because I think you all get it, and I hope you're going to have fun with it. I think Mom will. Because the thing is, Mom's really funny, and we're pretty funny together. I really think we are. We like to goof off. So I think it'll be really fun, and sound effects are really fun. So we're going to have both of them. And just this example, this is one of the things that gave me the idea, because this quilt is supposed to be so amazing. Hey, Mother Nature. The Quilt Nerd on Parade is the second half of the show, so you did not miss a thing. I anticipated that people would need to get here and do their thing. And so, yeah, I don't like this quilt. I don't like it. And it's amazing, of course. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a feat of engineering. It's wonderful. It's so amazing. How did someone make it? Oh my God. She was a genius. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like looking at it. So I'm very excited to see what you have to say about it. Could you run through these again? Oh, of course. Yes. In fact, okay. If you like it, it's a duck. If you are kind of undecided, it's the goose. And then if you're like, not for me, woof. You know what I'm saying? You're hypnotized. Let's play in the chat too. Okay, listen, you know what? That's a great idea. Oh my God, that's so good. SJ. Sorry. It's SJ Pepper. I have to play that sound. That's such a great idea. So you can play in the chat with your emojis. This is from SJ Pepper. This is not my idea. This is your idea. It's so good. So if you like it, you do a bird. If you're lukewarm, oh yeah, duck. Sorry. Yeah. If you like it, it's a duck. If you're lukewarm, it's a chicken. Yeah, a chicken. Because you're chicken because you can't pick. You're too scared to pick. So you're a chicken. And then if you don't like it, okay, arf, it's a dog. Exactly. So that's what we're going to do with Mom, among other things. But I thought that would be a lot of fun for everybody. Okay, so this last bit, because I told you it's little bits, because the big meat of the show is the second half of the show. So, I mean, this is not inconsequential or trivial by any means. It's awesome, but I just tried to keep things, I'm working for you. Okay, so this is part of something called, and Mother Nature, maybe a mod or somebody, or SJ Pepper. Maybe SJ Pepper, you could answer Mother Nature and say, where do you find the emojis? It's a good question. There's all kinds of different emojis in Twitch. Okay. This is a quilt from the Ancestor quilt project. Okay. This show, we look at all kinds of things. We don't ever look at just one thing. So this is the Ancestor quilt project took place at the American Indian Center of Chicago from 2006 to 2010. Women from the senior lunch program stayed in the afternoons to sew applique designs of ancestral portraits, animal spirits, and plants. So this was from 2006 to 2010. 2006 to 2010, and it took place, the Ancestor Quilt Project, it took place at the American Indian Center of Chicago. And women from the senior lunch program stayed in the afternoons, after lunch, to sew applique designs of ancestral portraits, animal spirits, and plants. Oh gosh, I love you people. Okay, you're so funny. So it was started by Diane Green. Okay, by the way, this particular work was made by Diane Green and Christian Place Brock. And it's a portrait of Christian Place Brock's eighth generation ancestor. It was made in 2010. Cherokee Mountain, it says on the right. I can zoom in on these, of course. I should. It doesn't look too bad. The quality of the image isn't amazing, but it's good enough to see that there's these decorative stitches. And I think it's all hand. Yeah, I mean, it's hand stitched from what I can tell. Kitty Hannah just said duck, yeah. So, oh my God. Wow, I really, really love the new sounds. Do you? Or do you hate them? Okay, I don't think you hate them. So about Diane Green. So born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, Diane Green graduated in 1984 with a BFA, actually I have a picture of her, with a BFA in painting at the Memphis College of Art. After selling many paintings, Diane left Memphis in 1990 to advance her art career. Since 1998, Diane's paintings have been included in over 35 shows. She got her master's degree from the School of the Art Institute. Woohoo! Same. Today she lives in Pilsen, which is a neighborhood in Chicago, painting and doing other art projects in her home studio. So that's cool. So when I do interviews on this show, we could get Diane in here to talk about the Ancestor Quilt Project. So this piece was made by Diane Green, called Medicine Wheel 2010. We know this symbol because we've looked at quilts by Indigenous people in the past many times, and this symbol shows up from time to time, and I have really anyway, I can't tell you everything that I did today because I did a lot of things, and you'll see everything in time, but a wonderful, weird coincidence happened. I found someone's business card the other day. Okay, it has to do with the medicine wheel. I'll just leave it at that. So here's Diane Green's, here's the Quilt Alliance. A bit of information from the Quilt Alliance, the Quilters Save Our Stories Oral History Project. They did a piece on the Ancestor Quilt Project, okay? And I have the link for you that I'm going to put in the chat in just a minute. I'm really doing bad on the chat tonight. I'm doing really bad. But I found the Quilters SOS Save Our Stories, I found that they did that through the Kentucky Oral History Project. Like there was an entry in a Kentucky state-run website for their oral history projects and cultural stuff, and I have that link as well. But they made a note that the Quilters Save Our Stories, the SOS Quilt Alliance project, had done a Save Our Stories entry on this project. Here's what the Kentucky people, the Kentucky cultural people, sorry. I put my notes down and they're okay, but they could be better. Okay, so project summary. So here's what the project was about. And this quilt, by the way, was made by Big Eagle in 2010. It's accredited to Big Eagle and Irene Big Eagle, made in 2010. And it's part of the Ancestor Quilt Project. Okay. And this one was made by Irene Big Eagle as well, and it's called Harmony Love, and it was made in 2010 also. It's really beautiful. Okay. Project summary from the Kentucky Oral History Project, reporting about the Quilters Save Our Stories Quilt Alliance project. It is hard. That one's kind of difficult to parse. Okay. Quote, Karen Musgrave, Quilters Save Our Stories volunteer, conducted interviews with quilt makers in the Ancestor Quilt Project, a group that meets in the American Indian Center of Chicago in Illinois. They are creating 3 group quilts based on ancestors, herbs and things, and animal spirits. Okay, and then they talk about Quilters Save Our Stories. So then, here is a little bit more about Diane Green. Okay. So all of these women, if you just came in, these women were seniors at the American Indian Center of Chicago, and they would stay after lunch to make their make pieces about their ancestry, animal spirits, things like that, and then they were put into a quilt, or they existed on their own. Hey, pastrami tacos, first time chat. I'm so glad you're here. This is great. Chicken, are you all doing that now? Have I been missing? Oh my Lord. Oh my God. Oh my. I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to be doing this when my mom was here, but now you're going to be doing this for all the quilts that oh Lord. You know what? This is bananas. So the idea was that when my mom comes here, she's going to do a hot or not hot take on the different quilts that we look at. And I thought SJ was saying that you too, playing at home, could do either the I love it, duck, the I'm okay with it, it's fine, I'm kind of ambivalent, goose, or the I hate it, woof. And I thought that was going to happen on Thursday, but it seems like it's happening now. That's fine. Oh my, you know what, people? Pastrami, I don't know what you walked into. Oh my God. You know, there's a function on Twitch that you can make the whole show emote only chat. That's like a setting. Like I can just like hit it. I can, with the stroke of a pen, with the push of a button, I can make it emote only. I guess I don't have to do it. I guess you're all taking care of that already. Ridiculous. There's raccoons. What's happening? This is ridiculous. This is a crack up. This is a crack up. You've devolved. You have all devolved. What's happening? I'm trying to talk about the Ancestor Quilt Project. That's it. That's all. Oh, God. Aren't these wonderful? Don't you love them? I love them. This is done by Irene Big Eagle. It's a portrait of Saint Kateri. Yeah, Kateri. Tekawitha. This is her ancestry. Oh, Lord. You love them. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. No, everybody loves them. They love them. Myra, there's fish? Beverly's butter. I don't know who, you know what? It's like Beverly's butter. You're so sweet. Like the few times that you've come in the chat and like, cause I think, you know, if you lurk, everybody, you can lurk. It's totally fine. Like I love the lurkers. I love the people who watch the replay. Like everything's fine. Do not be intimidated to come into the chat. Cause clearly it's a zoo. It's a zoo. But Beverly's butter, like, you know, you're like a kid who gets around the wrong crowd, because all of a sudden I see Beverly's butter in here and you got a duck in here. Well, that's actually very nice of you, but you're still falling into a bad crowd. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I admit if my notes had been slightly more watertight, this might not have happened. I blame myself. Okay, people. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for it? It's the Quilt Nerd on Parade show, okay? That's what this show is all about. Do you like my art? Put a duck in the chat. That's Estelle Witherspoon. And Mary, okay, Jill says, I need a button on my Twitch board of your sister saying, it's a crack up. Oh, Mom, oh my God, you have to remind me. Oh, that's such a good idea, Jill. Oh my God. Okay, Jill says, it's a crack up. My mom and I are funny, but my sister Rebecca, she can never be on the show. You know what? I should bring her on the show. Hey, small town. I should bring her on the show because then none of you would be able to put any animals in the chat because you'd be laughing so hard you can't even see. That's how funny she is. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the Quilt Nerd on Parade. But first, we are going to do... We're going to take a quick break. We're going to do it because it's halfway through the show. We're going to take a quick break. Yes, this art it's a parade, you see. And Estelle Witherspoon, sorry if you're not familiar, Estelle Witherspoon was a mod for a while. She was a mod in our chat before I had actual human mods, and I appreciate you very much. We had a bot who was a mod, and I named her Estelle Witherspoon because Estelle Witherspoon ran the Freedom Quilting Bee back in the 1960s, probably into the 70s, but definitely in the 60s at the height of the civil rights movement. And she was amazing, and she ran a tight ship. And I felt like if there was a mod in this Quilt Nerd world, and it could be anybody I wanted it to be, I'd want Estelle Witherspoon. So she was really tough on everybody. Somebody said the word bobbin, and they got yeeted. So yes, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna there's Melty's got it. Estelle, if you're a subscriber and you get the special emote chat, you get the special emotes like the Estelle one down there, Melty's using it. If anybody is ever out of line, you throw an Estelle. Look at this. God, you're ridiculous. This is crazy. It's out of control. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with the Quilt Nerds on Parade. About halfway through, we're going to do a pop quiz. I have developed a great pop quiz, and I think I know how to get everybody access to it so everybody can play. I did a lot of research on it, so we're going to check it out. So take a quick break. We'll be right back to see all of your wonderful work that you sent me. Amazing. You're going to love it. Be right back. Thanks. No, that's not as cute. Okay, so the Quilt Nerd on Parade. Welcome back, everybody. Just real quick, we did this on New Year's Eve. I had people send the things you were working on, the things that were making you happy in your studio, and we did it as part of the New Year's Eve show. And it was so much fun. I was like, let's do this like quarterly, you know? So this is the first time it's ever happened. This is the first of 2022's Quilt Nerd on Parade shows. So you're all amazing. You're very inspiring. And this is one of our own down here. You'll be seeing her again. Amazing. God bless you. So I hope the way I did this is gonna work. I didn't plan it for the name to be right up in my head, but that works. That's good. So I've got wonderful things from a cat sound. That's a good idea. Thanks. That's a good idea, Pamperito. Like, yeah, if a quilt makes you angry, there could be a. I don't know. Quilts don't usually make people angry, but maybe like a best in show winner if it's not you and some other chick got it, or some other dude got it, some other friend beyond the binary got it. I don't care. Everybody's welcome. Everybody can win a quilt show. It doesn't matter. If somebody else won a quilt show, that quilt could make you angry, and you'd want to sound. So, a nun maker, are you in the house? That's yours, indeed. And here is so everybody gave me a bit to say about things. Some of let me tell you how I set this up. So I printed off everybody's stuff. Grover, if you're in the chat, you need to say hi. So I printed off, I gathered all your comments, and then I put everything into this slideshow so I can zoom in. But where I could, I did like detail. You'll see. But I just hope it works. I've never done it like this before, and I've never had so many people send their things. So, hey, Mary Kate. Mary Kate says, is that the candy corn block from the Quilt Maker magazine a few years ago? I don't know, but here is what a nun maker has to say. One of my best friends, she says, has a deep and abiding love of candy corn. This is her quilt. My original plan was for 144 paper-pieced blocks. I got 58 done, and I had to rethink the whole thing. This is the result. And, you said, thanks for all you do, and I just want to say thank you, because pretty much everybody was like, I love the show. I'm so glad you're doing this. This is super fun. It's like the best thing ever. So just thank you, everybody. I won't read those parts because, makes me feel like, But I appreciate all the support a lot, So a nun maker, way to go. It's so great. It's so fun. Yeah, it's so much more interesting than all candy corns. Lee, 1,000%. Like, I love it. It's very, like, I don't know. I love candy corn, so I'm super into this quilt. Candy pumpkins are my favorite candy of all time. But, yeah, you did such wonderful things with this, and like, who would want to make all 144 candy corns? That's a lot of candy corns. Ivy Divey, same. Brock's company is who makes that wild candy corn. Listen, you can't accept no substitute. It's Brock's only. I love candy pumpkins. They like scratch the inside of my cheeks, and I love it. Way to go. I mean, it's Amy, right? Amy. Fabulous job. I love the way it's a great quilt. It's great. And it's for your friend, huh? That friend is a very lucky person indeed. Okay. So Grover, Anne, if you're in the chat, I forgot to put your actual screen name. I was like, I have to look up Anne's actual screen name. It's Grover like 346 or something, but I put this in there, and I think that's okay. So this is what Anne has to say, Anne/Grover. My current quilt on the design wall, and my favorite so far, is this top that is 8/9% done. And here, yeah, okay, so this is the full, that's a detail shot, but this is, oh yeah, here we go. There's the full shot, okay? So you can see it's up on the design wall, it's being worked on. This is amazing. This is crazy. And this is crazy. Okay. It's from Victoria Finley Wolf pattern, Victoria Finley Wolf pattern Florid Blooms, and it's been really fun to make, particularly because it was born at a Victoria Finley Wolf retreat with my BFF. And Anne says, I don't even like green, quote unquote, but look what happened when I started collecting hand dyes. The gray ring bottom center includes my inspiration fabric that has bright blips of aqua, teal, yellow, and green. Now, can Goldie, the Bernina, handle it? Yeah, probably. Her throat space is big, but I can handle that giant. Can I handle the giant sandwich to FMQ? It's 90 by 90. Any advice on quilting big quilts on a home machine are welcome. So, if you have any advice on quilting big quilts on a home machine, Anne is ready to hear them. So here's a detail shot. I just zoomed in. Some of you provided detail shots, which was great. Oh, I have a couple. The next time we do this, I've got a couple more notes. I have a really hard time not including like every picture you send me. So I'm probably going to like limit it to like 4 photos next time, because some of you sent more, which like that's probably what I would do too. But, I got to corral all this content, so I got to keep things a little bit tighter. Look at this fabulous fabric. It's so great. Oh, Anne. Yeah, I'm feeling this one. I'm going to quack. Oh, you know what? I'm going to quack for every single person. So a nun maker, that's your quack. Okay. We can't linger too long. Bonnie. This is the quilt that I would like to enter into the Quilt Nerd slideshow, says Bonnie. It was a private commission from a synagogue in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. Every year, they have a theme, and 2020 was to celebrate inclusion. Fabulous. So they asked me to come up with an original design that would represent the community, the congregation, and that everyone is welcome there. It took 18 months from start to finish. The Hebrew words say the same thing as English. Hang on, I made a detail thing. But I'm going to go back to the whole thing. Hang on. I guess I didn't have to. Anyway, I didn't know how to work it, but I've learned something already. Okay, so it took 18 months from start to finish. Okay, the letters were all cut out and fused and then stitched around. And by the way, I think what the chat is doing is just like going crazy with people being like, I love this. I will say, like, the chat is going to be hard for me to pay attention to while I'm doing this. So if you want to get my attention, just quack or something like that. But I think you understand. So okay. The committee chairperson, Bonnie continues, did not want a solid brown tree. Ugh. So I took many browns, beiges, greens, and grays and cut them into strips, sewed them back together, and then cut the tree out of the homemade striped fabric. No part of that tree is on grain. Whoa. The tree was fused down and then satin stitched around the edges. All the leaves and flowers are 3-dimensional and were the last thing added. Wow. Each leaf represents a different congregant. They are all different, and yet they all belong on the tree, the synagogue. The tree is the synagogue. Sorry. Every leaf I almost missed that. Every leaf is from a different fabric except for the 6 rainbow leaves, which represent the LGBTQ plus community. They're all different, and yet they all belong on the tree. The buttons were all from my mom's and my mother-in-law's button collections. What? They represent the children because they are the future of this congregation. My son wanted to know which was his flower. I told him that he couldn't have a whole flower to himself because there wasn't enough flowers for all the kids, but I said that each flower could represent a confirmation class, and that he could pick the one for his class. He picked the blue and purple one in the top left corner. The sky fabric was a huge piece of hand tie-dyed blue and white fabric I've been hoarding for 30 years. Hey. It looks better cut into squares and sewn back together than it did originally. You know what? That's good dimension, because like the fabric that we don't want to cut up, maybe it's not even as good as it could be. Everybody's always afraid of like ruining their fabric, that they love when they cut it up. But maybe it's not even as good as it could be. Because that is awesome, Bonnie. It's awesome. Okay. The inclusion committee requested the labels be on the front of the quilt. Great. I signed the back in Sharpie and wrote all of this on backing fabric. It's 7.5 feet high and 10.5 feet across. Wait, is that right? Bonnie, is that right? Feet, not inches, right? I mean, I think you know the difference between the feet and the inches symbol. I mean, well, of course it's not 7 inches. Okay, great. It's 7.5 feet high and 10 feet across. Okay. It's all cotton except for the ribbons, and they're gonna hang it in the lobby. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're a talented bunch. Dee Marie. Is this right? Did I do this right? Hang on. Because I emailed you, but you know what? It was getting under the wire. But hang on now. Hang on. Just don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. Don't read ahead. Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the other thing. Okay, so Dee Marie, you're the only person, and it's not your fault. I mean, obviously you're a very responsible person. Okay, so. This is Dee Marie's piece. So you couldn't find a quilt top, right? You had lost a quilt top on Saturday. You mentioned this, that you couldn't find this quilt top. And you found it today. And it was wrapped up in another quilt top, right? And so the rest of the story, Dee Marie says, is that it's Quilt Nerd magic. Yes, because by doing something else, you found it and you didn't expect to, right? So this is what you wanted to share. And you did. I mean, it's a Quilt Nerd. It's this moment. It's this it happens every show, something weird happens, and you couldn't find the top, and then on the day that the under the wire, right, you found it. This is really great. Can you tell me a little bit more? Thanks, Mom. Mom loves the parade. It's really beautiful. Dee Marie, can you just drop something in the chat about this quilt? Your sense of color, the design, I don't know. You know, Mom, you have taught me, and we have taught other people too, that if you're making a scrap quilt, you make sure every fabric has a friend, you know? And I love that, and it's really true. And what Mom and I have meant by that is that if you're doing a scrap quilt, every single fabric that you have in the quilt needs to have a friend in another fabric. So what Dee Marie has here, look at this. I'm going to zoom in really tight. But you see this mustardy yellow? I know that's kind of pixelated, but that kind of mustardy yellow, well, it appears elsewhere, okay? It appears right here. And so there's continuity, there's cohesion between these colors because they all have a friend somewhere. I mean, look, this pink and red, that pink and red over there on the left of your screen, or maybe on the right, actually it might reverse. Look, there's a pink gingham down there by my shoulder. Red gingham, and then there's this pink dead center, and you can really have fun with a scrap quilt, but just give your scraps a friend, because if you don't, the alternative to me, when I've seen scrap quilts, I call them kitchen sink quilts, and that's totally fine. That's a look. Oh, it's a choice. But to make a scrap quilt kind of come together, lots of friends, right, Mom? Lots of friends. That gives your scrap quilt this kind of cohesion that Dee Marie has got going on right here. And the Quilt Nerd magic is that she couldn't find it. She wanted to show it. The day of the show, she finds it. Beautiful. I love it. Dee Marie, well done. Well done. Oh! Charles. Oh, Dee Marie, I don't know if I gave you this one. Yeah. So Charles, now I hope I got these in the right order, but either way, there's 2 slides here that I'm going to have people just sort of linger on while I share what you have, and it will all be fine. So Charles wants to share the story of his first quilt with me and you. So actually, Charles, can you tell me, is crooked crosses and bent boxes, are we looking, I think it's maybe this one. Sorry, There were so many things to put on these slides that I might have inverted them. But either say stay where you are or go to this one, okay? Okay. Either way, they're amazing. I have 2 young daughters, Charles says, who are my creative inspiration. Their inquisitive approach toward learning has shown me that not knowing how to do something can be a powerful enabler toward creating something extraordinary, to not be bound by the way others do things or the way things ought to be done. Crooked, crosses, and bent boxes is but one example where I have employed this approach. This was my first quilt ever. See, that's the thing. He's using the technique and the approach like in the quilts that you're going to, in these 2 quilts and in this one. But I want to make sure. Okay, the solids is the CCBB quilt. This one. Okay, wait, hang on. Yep. Okay, so this is the first quilt you ever made. This was the first quilt you ever made? This was my first quilt ever, Charles says. Felt like sweets. I started this project not knowing it was going to become a quilt, not actually knowing how a quilt was made. What? But rather in a determined attempt to replicate the wonky crosses that appeared to sparkle and dance across a friend's quilt. And he says his friend her name is Jill, and her Instagram is Pie Lady Quilts. So you should follow her. I failed many times, Charles says, at making a wonky cross block like Jill's. You have a doll's blanket worth of ugly blocks to show for it. But then he says, I came up with an approach that used strip piecing and nested seams to make the crosses. And then you trimmed the larger than required blocks off square or crooked to give this improv-y effect. Oh, interesting. The bent boxes were made using a similarly wonky method by creating a courthouse step style outline around a central square, many of which had small wedges taken off 1 or 2 sides. Wow! Ducks and quacks or whatever animals of approval we're doing. Pam, I don't even know anymore, but it's great. So the bent boxes were made using, I think I already said that. Okay, so please also notice the the binding. Bias cut and attached so that the strips are parallel to the diagonal quilting lines, and acid green quilting thread to match the green linen backing fabric. 'Cause why not? Amen. I don't pretend it to be anything else, but one that illustrates that one really can do anything one puts their mind to. I have made a few iterations on the original using different colors, etc., that I'll also attach. Okay, I'm sorry that these 2 were out of order. But so this was your first quilt ever? The binding is fabulous. Mom, I bet you love that binding too, that pinstripe. And these are your other, let me zoom out so you can see the full things, and then I'll show some details. These are wonderful. You've never made a quilt before. You know what? What I really like that you pointed out is like there's no like right way to do it, and like you don't have to do things the way other people have done them. And that's really true. And I don't know, like if you have started out making quilts and you're not like, I don't know, Charles yet, that's exactly what he would be happy to hear, I think. Right, Charles? It's like, well, I did it this way. Like you do your quilt that way, and we'll all just hang out on Quilt Nerd together, basically. So, and I've also said too, Mom, I don't know if Dee Marie, just do it. I've also said, Mom, and I don't think you actually taught me this, but I've said it in classes, and maybe you did. But like everybody's good at different stuff. I mean, you can be good at color. Like I've always understood like contrast really well. Like I just understand like what fabric is gonna, show up in a high contrast way with another fabric. Blocks and things have always been really fun for me because I understand that. I'm really not good at, I don't know, set in seams. Oh, sorry. I'm not good at setting in seams. And, technically, like my friend Heather, she's a genius. She can sew anything. She's sewn for other people. Like she's just technically great. Charles, you have a really good sense of balance and color and engineering. You're putting these things together without much training, but find the thing that you're good at and lean into that, and if you need help with something else, that you don't do as well at, then ask someone for help. So it's exciting. It's exciting to figure out what you're good at. If you hate quilting, just make tops. It's totally fine. like as long as people have been making quilts, they've been paying other people to quilt them. No shame. There's no shame. All right, miscellany. Miscellany. You gave me some great images. Thank you so much. Okay, so miscellany. Child's quilt. Okay, so this quilt was inspired by a trip. So I've got two different quilts here. No. I've got hold on. I tried to get all your pictures. I tried to get as many pictures into these as I could. So miscellany, you help me out now. You help me if I've got things on the wrong side or whatever. Okay, this quilt was inspired by a trip we and some friends made to the secluded beach. I love this quilt. On the bottom right of the quilt. Yes. Just prior, we had been at a nearby beach restaurant, 100 yards away, with our toes curled. Oh, sorry. Yeah, big time. In the wet sand as we sipped margaritas and ate tacos, etc. A panga picked us up on this quilted beach, which sounds pretty fancy. But if you could see us all, you would have laughed as we waded out thigh-high into the bay to hoist ourselves up and over the gunwales, tumbling into the boat as the surging waves tossed us to and fro. I'm really digging your writing, by the way. A hurricane happened to be way out there in the ocean, affecting the wave action. Whoa! But it was fun and super casual. Mexico is great that way. I put the animals and the sea life into the quilt to liven it up for a child. Count 5 fish or find the ladybug. This quilt is a little distorted because of the way it's hung. Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay. Oh, look at this detail. The rows are horizontal without any curves. I hadn't learned how to do curves like that yet. Size-wise, I think it's a little over 5 by 4 feet. Big stitched with wild abandon after seeing some kantha stitching. I quilted leaves in the jungle, waves in the ocean, and sun rays in the sunset. Oh! The sun rays! You guys see that? It's so great. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, Mom, you gotta go. That's okay. You got the spinning wheel of death. That's cool. Okay, Mom, thank you so much for coming on Thursday, and you were great. And remember, you gotta remember your buttons. Yeah, I think you're gonna be fine. These are miscellany. This is just great. This is really, really great. I love it. The sun rays are so good. Okay, let's take a look at the full Monty and the little boats. I mean, count the boats. I can just see, a child will just love this. Whoop. And it's so, sorry. And it's fussy cut and it's just awesome. It's awesome. You all are so talented. I can't believe it. I can, but. Okay. We gotta keep going. Crosley at home. Ugh, how do you do this? I couldn't do this. I couldn't make it. So Susan, Crosley at home, says, just finished this, made for a wall, and I couldn't do a detail shot of this on the second slide, Crosley at home, but I'm going to zoom in as best I can. Just finished this, made for a wall hanging for my son's new home he bought last year. He went from sharing a 2-bedroom apartment with a roommate in Seattle to purchasing a big house in the burbs. Nice work. Lots of blank gray walls, she says, in that house. This is great. He gets to hang this in his roommate, in his home, and he doesn't have to live with a roommate anymore. Look at these. Did you use a pat? What? How do you do this? This is it's not a. Hey, Mr. President. Thank you so much for following the show. I think you're gonna like following it because you'll get a notification whenever we go live, and then you get to see stuff like this and more. The colors are really great. And is that a hand dye back there? I don't know. It's great. It's really great. Oh yeah, double duck. Look, when Quilting Nancy says double duck, we're gonna do it. If you just joined us, we do a duck sound if we like it, and we like all of them. Very well done. Very beautifully done. Yeah. Look at the Dresden plate. So you piece it and then you applique it, right? That's what I'm seeing. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Excellent. Dee Dee Brew Crew, you're up next. The first quilt I made was so you didn't put you said they weren't necessarily in order, so there's several photos, and I'll just go through them as I read what you had to say, which is great. The first quilt that I made was from the first quilt I made was from the Fussy Cut Sampler book, written by authors and friends Elizabeth Wu and Nicole Ramirez in the month of January 18. I went to it blindly, not knowing how challenging and time-consuming fussy cutting would be. Dumb luck, but I completed all 48 blocks in 4 weeks. So this is Nicole Ramirez and Elizabeth Wu that you're talking to and going to a book signing to see, I think. The blocks weren't perfect, yes, and I didn't care because I was making it for me and I was learning so much. Cool. So you with the quilt, that's your finished quilt, and that is your signature block. Dee Dee is fussy. You guys, Dee Dee is fussy. It's great. And by the way, so yes, okay, so that's Dee Dee. So Patton was asking, which one are you? Dee Dee is there next to the gal in the blue dress. I think it's switched for you guys. So I was going to say they're on the left, but I actually think it's on the right for you. Yeah, I love the signature block too. It's really, really cute. The quilt is wonderful. And the fourth picture you sent me, Dee Dee, we may be seeing later. So just know that. Okay. It's wonderful. It's great. It's great. Fiandor. Have I seen Fiandor yet? Fiandor, you better be here. Fiandor always comes in with the music, and she has more to say. Or he, I don't know. So this machine, okay, so Fiandor said, thought I should include this image since the purchasing was motivated by all the vintage machines owned by the Quilt Nerds. That's so great. Started with the Husqvarna since my main machine is a modern Husqvarna. Purchased from an online auction. From the wear patterns on the body, it was well used and loved. Looking forward to getting it serviced and seeing what the vintage sewing machine movement is all about. And so that's cool. And remember, the next time we do this, if you're not working on a particular quilt, you can totally send me stuff like this. I mean, we'd love to see it. It's so awesome. And Fiandor is like, I got a vintage machine because all of you nerds are like into them, or we've talked about them, And I love that for us. It's awesome. Mr. President, our channel is so cute. We are cute. You know what? I don't know if you heard already, but we have like a new soundboard system tonight. If you like something, it's a duck. If you're like, it's okay, it's a goose. And if you're not really into something, and I don't know what has ever been cuter than that. So, approved. You're approved. Okay, but Fiandor has more. Hang on. This is the Quilt Nerds on Parade show. These are pictures of wonderful things that the viewers, the subscribers, the followers of Quilt Nerd have been making. It's a special show. It's like a very special Quilt Nerd. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so these are also from Fiandor. And the 1,000 Pyramid there on half the screen, Fiandor says, this is one of 2 quilts destined for expected twin girls of good neighbors. Each top will be slightly different. The fabric may not show well as it is extremely soft. This line is Effie Woods by Deb Strain at Moda. I especially like the text fabric that repeats, "You are loved, you are cherished." The backing fabric will be the Dr. Seuss Thing 1, Thing 2 from Robert Kaufman. Oh, this is so cute. Measures 45 by 60. Pattern is just 60-degree triangles. Just 60-degree triangles. Yes, these are beautiful. They're beautiful. So let me repeat. It's Effie's Woods. Effie's Woods. Actually, let me make sure here. Hang on. Effie's Woods by Deb Strain for Moda. So that's what that is. Yeah, ducks. Oh my God. Okay, and then squares on the other side. This one, these latest quilt. This is the latest quilt back from the long armor. Finished the last top during Saturday's show. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. So she finished the top during the last show. Is that cool or what? Didn't know how many to send, so don't expect all to be shown. I worked them all in, Theodore. I usually listen to the Tuesday show in the car on the way home. I'll have to speed home so I can see everybody's quilts. Thank you for putting the show. Thanks for all you put into the show for us. This is a wedding gift for friends of the family and lifelong best friend of my son. Morris fabrics were used on in the pattern, which is Prairie Pains by Tony Jacobson, whose shop is in Winterset, my hometown in Iowa. Long arm quilting done by Rena Thompson at the Quilt Bug, and it's 50 by 60. Very, very well done. Ducks. Everybody's like, ducks. Yeah, there's no, like, it's only ducks tonight, obviously. Okay, Ivy Kadivy. This is great. This is how the description starts. Pandemic. Ouch. The day after my booster wait period, that day in April, I drove alone and together across the George Washington Bridge with my family quilt, tears of lockdown relief running down my face to see my youngest daughter, Randy, in Phoenix. My quilt family and I met with TT and Emily in Amarillo in a park in New Mexico before arriving at Randy and Matt's. We posed at Canyon Lake and a bunch of tourist sites. Mostly, they just hung out, and I was happy to have them with me on my trip. I imagined they were having great conversation with me too. I know my mom enjoyed all the cowboy museums and hanging out. Hold on. Wait a minute. Ivy? Is this right? No. Hold on. Ivy. Hang on. I've got the wrong quote. Okay, exactly. I was like, I'm waiting to get to the part. Yes. Okay, this is, okay, sorry. Okay. Oh, I went through everything to make sure that wouldn't happen. Oh, okay, hang on. It's okay. Thank you. I just skipped one. That's all I did. Oh man, I was like, I think these are like, oh yeah, okay. Thank you, sorry. Damn. Okay. This one, we're gonna go back. It's okay. It's okay says, this was a block of the month, right? From Libs Elliott. That's right? I love, by the way, let me just say that the style shot here on the, with the brick wall and the wire mid-century modern chair, it's amazing. Yeah, I totally skipped. I'm sorry. It's right here. This was a block of the month from Libs Elliott. We've talked about her on the show before, a great fabric designer and pattern designer. The last block was done in February, and I just finished the binding today. Whoa! It certainly challenged me with some tight curves and appliqued circles, but I feel like a pro now. Yeah, it's really, really great. And when you sent this, so I put the slideshow together today. So I believe you sent me, you didn't finish it today, but when you sent it to me, you had finished it that day. It's wonderful. What fabrics did you, which is this like, it's Libs Elliott. You said it was a block of the month from Libs Elliott. Is it her fabric as well? Those colors are awesome. They are really, really awesome. The styled shot is as good as any I've ever seen, said Mary Kate. Mary Kate would know, okay? Quilt magazine editor in the house. And actually, there's a couple. It's fabulous. It's like magazine worthy, 1,000%. Thank you. It's okay. We love it. I'm sorry I started reading the wrong thing. But it's like, I was just slightly off. Look, it's okay, Ivy Kadivy. Okay. So, here we go. This is Ivy Kadivy. Back to what we were doing. Hang on. I just want to make sure that I've got, I do have the right stuff now, but okay. Yeah. I want to show this slide first and then go back to the second one. Okay. Ivy Kadivy says, and she says, pandemic. Ouch. The day after my booster wait period, in April, I drove alone and together across the George Washington Bridge with my family quilt. Tears of lockdown relief running down my face to see my youngest daughter, Randy, in Phoenix. My quilt family and I met with TT and Emily in Amarillo and Petroglyph National Monument in New Mexico before arriving at Randy and Matt's. We posed at Canyon Lake and a bunch of tourist sites. Mostly, they just hung out on a rock or a rail. I was happy to have them with me on my trip and imagined they were having great conversations with me too. I know my mom enjoyed all the cowboy museums and hanging out by the Red Caboose and Nana's Bakery. Of course, we all stopped in Paducah and had our picture taken in front of the museum. We made it. It started out to be my family. The quilt, right? Me, Gary, Randy, and Beck. Then Beck didn't like their portrait, so I made a second one of Beck. Randy's husband, Matt, with the crazy blue hair. This guy. It's so great. It's really good. Ivy, it's amazing. Beck didn't like their portrait, so I made a second one. Randy's husband, Matt, with the crazy blue hair. My mom, soft and supportive. Daddy, handsome. Sisters, Sheila and TT. Aunt Sonia, Aunt Donna. My Uncle Ronnie, the best rhyming storyteller in the family. And me, being old and grumpy. And Mr. I don't care who you are, I am finished with this quilt, so you are in. This is so great. Small pieces of these fabrics have been shared among my 18-ish quilts in the last 3 or so years, keeping us all connected. First row. Here's who we got, okay? You ready? First row. Ma, Beck, revised, Daddy, and me, young. Okay? Second row. Aunt Donna, this is from left to right, okay? Is that right? Yeah. Second row, Aunt Donna, Matt, Aunt Sonia, Randy. Me, grumpy and old. That's great. Grumpy and old over there. Uncle Ronnie, Gary, and TT. So talented. You people are just ridiculous. Aunt Noreen, Beck, Sheila, and Imposter. Fabulous. And then I put together the little detail shot there on the left, a little editorial work there, and the quilt on the cowboy sculpture. It's really fun. You know what? It is really, really fun. Like a family quilt like that with faces. It's really great. It's really, really fun. Ivy. So cool. So cool. It makes me want to do it too. We have a really small family though. Okay, here's Joyous Fibers waltzing in with this beauty. This is Tawny, Joyous Fibers. This is called Vegas in Color. 8 buildings to go. Pattern is Color My World by Wendy Williams. 2021 block of the month for the quilt show. I think, yeah, okay. I decided to make the outer row all Las Vegas casino styled and will embellish, applique, and embroider to finish. Freezer paper pieced, all fabric except background from my stash. Oh, all fabric except the background is from my stash. I know, Dee Marie, same. Let me just kind of get in here a little bit. I guess I didn't need to do too much of the detail slide because I can get in really nice here. I just didn't know how I was going to make it happen. Okay. So, and then there's another work in progress that we'll see. So Tawny, I mean, the paper piecing is just crazy. Look at all those details, those tiny pieces. It's funny, whenever you show somebody a quilt you made, I mean, I'm sure you've had this experience where even if it's just one quilt you've made in your life, Someone's like, how long did that take you? And it's like, I don't know. And so those questions are kind of hard to answer, and they're sort of like, I don't know. But I did just have the desire to ask you, Joyous Fibers, how many pieces are in that? I mean, every little bit of those houses. Oh, crazy. Okay, and the second one that we have, the second work in progress is Garden Party Down Under, designed by Irene Blank for the Quilt Show 2022 Block of the Month. Irene Blank, Blanck. Oh, Tawny? Needle turn applique on Essex linen and cottons, all fabric from my stash. I just kind of want to show the full thing actually for a second. I'm a little bored with this, Joyous Fibers admits. I think on the next round I'm going to punch it up with black and white. We shall see. It's really great. Wow. So the next round, so you're going to keep going, right? It's a frame quilt. You can do whatever you want. And if it's a block of the month, kind of depends on how it's, been working, but you're like, I might go with a black and white round. I love that. I think it's a great idea. Approved. Great. Okay. Everybody's got a different style, including Kitty Hannah, who comes in with some whole cloth. Are you kidding me? I know. Best in show. Are you quilting Nancy? No, we're not doing that. Kitty Hannah, short and sweet description. Some of you wrote a good amount. You elucidated, and some of you very little. Kitty Hannah's like, she's in and out with her description of this whole cloth quilt. Kitty Hannah says, quote, my second small crib size whole cloth quilt. Sorry. Made my own motifs using stencils, a simple ruler, and a compass. All hand quilted. Binding done with my 1921, I really love the duck. Binding done with my 1921 treadle sewing machine. Fiendor, if you're here, it's happening. It's all happening with this old machine stuff, vintage machine. It's beautiful. And listen, I'm not playing the Quilt Church on every single one because, come on. We can't do everything. Everybody gets a duck, but it's all Quilt Church. This is Quilt Church. But this is wonderful. I haven't seen a whole cloth baby quilt in a hot second. Kitty Hannah. It's wonderful. It's just fantastic. And this color, What is this? What is this color? It's like a resonant peach. It's fabulous. It's just fabulous. It's fabulous. Congratulations. It's wonderful. I don't know what else to say. Okay? I don't know what else to say. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Kristen Raffle Waffle. Another Mary Kate, another Coral. Thank you. MHEX, thank you. Coral. Thank you. Mary Kate, another shot it's magazine worthy. It's magazine worthy. This is a fabulous style shot. You got that wind moment, the little blowing wind moment, really, really beautifully done. Okay. Raffle Waffle says, quote, I wanted to share this quilt that I finished in February. It's got a pretty cool and nerdy story. We're here for it. My grandma and great-great-grandma were both quilters. Grandma did not get into the craft till the 1990s, but my great-great-grandmother was born in 1890 and had a long quilting career during her 101-year life. My grandma recently passed, and my parents found an unfinished quilt top in her house. Naturally, we assumed it was one she made, and wouldn't that just make a nice Christmas gift for my brother? We'll go back to this picture. But there were several clues in the calico that led me to think that the top was considerably older than that. Not only the type and condition of the fabrics, but also the fact that they were hand-pieced. Grandma only machine-pieced. Naturally, I went on a quilt fabric history deep dive as I was repairing the top, and I eventually concluded that it was most likely made in the first quarter of the 20th century by my great-great-grandmother. After finishing, repairing, and patching the top, I did some straight line quilting on my domestic machine and hand quilted 2 concentric squares on each pinwheel. Ah! I wanted to do some hand quilting as an homage to my foremothers who only hand quilted. After spending so much of its time in cupboards and closets, I couldn't bear the thought of it going back into one after finally being finished. But I'm happy to say that the quilt was well received and has been placed upon a bed for use. Given the age of the top, I gave my brother a lifetime service warranty for the quilt. He can send it back anytime and I will fix it up. And yes, it's labeled. Yeah, that's so cool. It looks amazing. It really looks amazing. I mean, that picture is life, but I mean, look at this. And you know what? What do I say? What do I say about office supplies? If you love office supplies, you'll love quilting. She's like, I'm not using clothespins. Who has clothespins? I'm not using clothespins. I'm using binder clips. Those are big binder clips. I love those. So it's wonderful. You know what? The colors, the red and the blue. Girl, like, okay, you need to tell us something. I have questions. Do you, whoa. Did you, I mean, it's like vibrating. The color is like vibrating. Did you like dip it? Did you like dip it in a wash? Because it's really, I mean, the blue is just to die for. It's really, really good. You know what it is? It's this. It's really good. You know? Word and bird nerd. Wish I'd thought of that instead of having one tall person and one short person hold up my quilt. Yeah, I know. You know what that is? You know what that turns out like? Yeah. It's just fantastic. It's rawful. Just an OxyClean soak due to some odor. Wow, OxyClean. To me, I mean, that OxyClean, I don't know. I feel like it really, really looks brand new. It's just great. Anyway. Well done. Kristen, Small Town Roots, you made a collage, you made a montage, and I love it. Kristen said, Small Town Roots said, I recently purchased a 1951 Centennial Featherweight. Again with these machines. It's a thing here. I'm so excited about how well it sews, Small Town Roots says, her 1951 Centennial Featherweight. And I love it even more than my newer Brother sewing machine. Whoa. I bought my first jelly roll and whipped up a Scotty dog. Oh, I'm not going to do the woof because we know the woof means something else, but you know. My great-grandma Alice used to make one. Oh my God, for every new baby in our family. And since she passed, I've taken on that tradition. I've made about a dozen. Oh my God, I love these. Whenever possible, I love to upcycle fabric from a shirt of a parent, grandparent, great-granddad, etc. into the dog for a little luck and a little love. Out of the scraps, I thought I'd make a pillow. Oh, wow. Look at you. This is so cool. I've never officially made a quilt block. Oh, really? Oh, really? You've never officially made a quilt block? But I guess this is close. Just made it up, she says. She literally said that. That's a quote. Just made it up. And I wanted to try hand quilting, so I added a little design to the center block and borders. That was fun, but I can't imagine doing an entire quilt. Whew! I mean, this is so great. It's so great. Quilt making is so great. Isn't it the best? It's the best. It's a democratic art. Anybody can do it. You can just like look at stuff on Quilt Nerd and be like, Charles did it. You know, Felt Like Sweets did it. Small Town Roots is doing it. It's just like a thing. And you made the Scotty dog with like pieces of relatives' clothes for, and I quote, a little luck and a little love. It's amazing. Oh, wow. They just did that thing where they turned off the lights in the office building. It's fine. Did you paint this pig back here? Oh, they just came back on again. Okay, not interesting. Not important. This is way more interesting. Did you paint that pig? I have every faith that you may have done it. Small Town Roots. I think I want to make a Scotty Dog quilt. Oh, Scotty Dog quilt. We can look at those. There's so many. Did you know that? Did you know there's Scotty Dog quilts? We're going to look at Scotty Dogs. Okay. We must press on. We're doing great. I mean, this is great. Ugh. Then there's Lee. Then there's Lee Haug. Lee Haug says, I was lucky enough to be in the audience at your Quilts on the Runway lecture. Oh, yes, in Phoenix this year. Oh, thank you. Okay, so that's very nice. Okay. Oh, you said very nice. Thanks. Okay, I cut and pasted, but that's very nice. Okay. But you do say that on Friday night, maybe this Friday night? Anyway, one of the comments that you had was that you immediately went to eBay after a Friday night show, a Quilters Newsletter Friday night show, and bought the entire set of Quilters Newsletter from 1979, which is awesome. So Lee says, here's one of my most recent pieces, the Sea Goat quilt. I have some good details of this. And the back, thanks to Lee. The Sea Goat quilt is 88 by 88, cotton and linen with cotton applique, 2022. This was a commission from one best friend from another, for one best friend from another. Wow. They live far away from each other, and part of the inspiration were these teal blue Capricorn lamps in her bedroom. So I wanted to make something that was a little like the friends having a long, elaborate conversation. That is so cool. I love the fabrics that you use. They're wonderful. They're really, really great. Wow. Okay, hang on. Okay, yeah, I got a real good detail shot of this. Is that bias binding tape? Oh, hang on. Yeah, the curved seams, that is no joke. That is no joke. Okay, yeah, and then that's the back. Hang on. Now, okay, and also I've got your Instagram handle that I'm going to share because you shared it with me there. Resistance Quilts. That is Lee's IG. The IG. And Lee, feel free to put your blog link in there too. And I am thinking, hang on now. I want to make sure. Yeah, I've got it. Okay, because I've got the picture of the back too. And I'll take a look at the front of it in just a second. Again, one more time. I wanted to make sure you didn't say something about the back, but you didn't. I got all your comments. Look at this. Look at the back. The quilting is crazy. It's really cool that you have the solid back and the thread, the white thread on the blue, because you can see all this quilting, which is a huge part of your design. I mean, that's often true for a quilt, but not always. I mean, sometimes it's just, straight line quilting or a pantograph kind of thing. And then sometimes it's like this, where it's like a whole, it's like an adventure, It's like a whole other thing on the back, Lee. It's wonderful. It's incredible. Yes, Word and Bird Nerd. It reminds me of a puzzle back with specially shaped pieces. 1000%. I love it. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Good job. Lily Erickson. Lily Erickson, you know what? I love this quilt, and I lightened it a little bit from your photo. I think it was good. I just made it a little bit brighter. So it's black and white. I don't think I hurt anything with the color. I think it's fine. But I just wanted to give it a little bit more brightness just from the photo. It's so good. It's so good. So Lily, this is the quilt I made for my local guild challenge. We had to incorporate traditional blocks into a modern piece. Nailed it. That was my comment. And I chose flying geese, the star, and the pinwheel, and then made them into one large log cabin. I didn't even see that at first. That's so great. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, Lily Erickson. Then I quilted it by machine and made ghost geese in the logs that didn't have any pieced ones. This is the ghost geese. Yeah, that's totally cool. That rules. Ghost geese. And we have a goose sound, but it's for something else. The ghost geese are awesome. It's really wonderful. The log cabin, I didn't even see that right away. I liked it already, and then that edition is just really clever and great. It's wonderful. Okay. Next, L. Riggs. L. Riggs sent some book photos. L. Riggs, Lisa, says, quilts and books, seriously, my two most favorite things, other than people, of course. Here are 3 recent finishes, plus the books on my Read Me Now list. My quilts aren't finished until they're labeled and washed, so none of these are crisp and perfect. It's a lot of pictures, so feel free to pick and choose. And that's the thing, is it's really hard for me to like not include some of your stuff. There were several people where I got enough that I was like, I'm going to run out of time. Anyway. So next time I'll probably say like limit it to 2 or whatever. Or a number of photos, whatever. But we're not there. So this is this is what I want to read, or this is what I'm reading, must read, or Read Me Now. That was your list, the Read Me Now list. Oh, you know what? So this is a PDF. I made slides. I made a slide presentation of all of these things, and I'll put it in the Discord, in the Disco for Quilt Nerds. So if you're a subscriber, you get a link to our Discord, and it's a PDF. I'll just upload it to the channel where we talk about the show. So if people want to look at things, you can just look at the PDF. It's 100 pages. Because if maybe you want to see these books, right? Oh, Myra, you're good. You're very good. Okay, and I love that you're sewing while you're watching. That's so good. Y'all are great. Okay, so El Rig says, this is a twin-size charity quilt and pillowcase that you finished last week. I think I have a pillowcase in here. My guild did a project to make quilts for kids aging out of foster care. Wow. I thought this would be quick and easy, but it took surprisingly longer than expected. And then the emoji face with like the wide eyes. I did learn how to make a pillowcase, which was surprisingly easy. We love this. Wait a minute. Hang on. Yes. So wait a second. Okay, so I did. Hang on now. Hang on. Do I have the right one? Hang on. L Riggs. Yes, blues, greens, and yellows. Do I have the right one? Oh God. L Riggs, are you there? Make sure I've got the right one here. I think I do. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Nope, that's the back of the one. That's the back of the one of the throws. Okay, hang on. That's the back of the one of the throws. Okay. Apologize. Here we go. No, it's terrible. Do you see? You know what? You know how long this is? Well, there's 100 slides. So, but it's not. This is why I get so nervous before the show. But this show in particular, I was really, really nervous because it's your stuff and I don't want to mess it up. Okay, hang on. Okay. 648 and 692. Okay, let me just go over here. Let me just go over here. Because it's your moment, It's your moment. And I don't want to screw this up. I loved the book photos. I was like, yes, book photos. But see, this is what I've got. Hang on. Now, I've got 3 pictures. I got the books, and I got this one. I'm looking at the email. Oh, no. Here's another one. Damn. Oh, yeah, here they are. Okay, you know what? This is brilliant. So I love this quilt. Hold on. Nothing is, everything's fine. Yeah, that was for me. Okay. Yeah, look at that. That is the one. Look at this. So this is the front, and what we looked at before was the back, and here's what it is. This is a throw-sized quilt that is currently living on my sofa. Right? Yeah. I started with the linen squares. This, you know what? This is why, like, this is, oh God. This is why I have to, like, have, hold on. This is why I have to have a limit, because I'm getting confused with all the, okay, I see. The planets. Oh my God. Listen, just please don't be mad at me. Please don't be mad at me. Like, there's just so much content tonight. Okay, hang on. Sorry, guys. God, I'm just gonna lose people. I'm so sorry. So, okay. So there's 4. So there's the books. I thought I had it, because there's downloads. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I mean, there's like 3 attachments up at the top, and then there's more below, and I didn't see that. So here's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Just hang on. Yeah. So it says 3 attachments, download all. And I did, but then there's more in the email. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I would just pull your email up, but I'm not going to show your email address. So I'm sorry, you guys. Just take a second. Oh my God. I need a producer. I can't fake it. I can't like pretend. I can't. So we're just going to do this. We're going to do this, and that's okay. That's okay. This is the first time that I've really done, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm just turfing out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. L. Riggs, you're actually, you know what? You're getting the most airtime because I've done it wrong. I'm not even looking at the chat because I'm sorry. Oh no, L. Riggs, you didn't do anything wrong. No, you did not do anything wrong. I screwed up. This is my screw up, but I'm just really hot. Okay. Whoo! You did not. I'm very embarrassed. Okay, anyway, show must go on. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. No, everything is fine. Here's the thing. I'm paralyzed because I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up again. In fact, you know what? Let me just tell you. Just this weekend, I was telling my sister about when I was a waitress. I was a waitress, and I spilled a glass of water on a woman while she was sitting in her chair. And then I came back to the table with fresh waters for the table that I had spilled, and I spilled it on her again. Yes, I spilled a glass of water on a woman twice in 1 hour or so period. So when that happened, I lost something in my soul, and I'm having kind of like a flashback because I'm afraid I'm going to say the wrong quilt again. So 6486 and 6492 are the front and back of a throw-size quilt currently living on my sofa. So linen squares, right? I thought I had it. Ooh, we will have more parades. Okay, first of all, let's just do this. Let's just say that this is amazing, which it is. This one, thanks, Pim. It's good. Okay, you're good, L. Riggs. I mean, you're like a hardcore nerd. Okay, so, and that's good. So the palette cleanser is the jelly rolls. See, you say the color combos are weird on this, but I don't agree. I think this is great. And this is the... You make sure... Okay, thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. How about this? Will you tell us about this quilt? Will you tell us, like, what you told me? Or just give us an idea of, like, tell us, because this is beautiful and I love it. And when I put it together, put this slideshow together, like, I don't know, I saw this and I really thought it was great. And you had a really good picture, so I could zoom in and do a really good detail. But I want to know about this quilt too. And this is the front, that one, right? The reason that it's kind of tripping me up is because the jelly roll, and I think that's why I got a little off my thing. Oh, rigs. Okay, that's the back. Using up the scraps. The front is using up the jelly rolls. Okay, this makes sense. So you were saying something about Liberty Lawn, but that's the other one. So this is the front and the back of the palette cleanser. I wanted to use up some jelly rolls and do something mindless and easy, and this is what happened. The color combos are weird, but it's still warm and cozy, so it's all good. I don't think the color combos are weird. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of some of the Depression era quilts, in fact, quite a bit, because you've got that green, that like very specific green around the edge. And I don't know if you did it on purpose. Well, you said you wanted a palette cleanser, but what the Depression era quilts did so brilliantly, and like it was kind of unusual that they did it, but it wasn't just pastels, it wasn't just the greens and the pale pinks and the pale yellows. There were also reds. Those little Depression era prints would come in dark red and black too sometimes, and so to me it doesn't seem weird at all. It seems cozy, like you said. It's cozy and warm, and all is good. And I think it looks like sort of a reboot of a Depression era quilt. That's what I see. And then this is the back. It all makes sense now. Okay. It does have the same palette, right, Waffle? A palette cleanser with a great palette. Thank you, Elrigs. Okay, and this one. Okay. I really like. Hold on. Is okay. I don't want to X out of that. I want to X out of this. X out of this. And if there is time, I'm going to come back to the planets, okay? Because I have that one over here, and I want to show it. Yes, it's the least I can do, okay? Okay, Marianne. I think Marianne, thank you, Elrics. I think Marianne is probably asleep because it's pretty, it's in the wee hours in the morning over in the UK. But Marianne's shared this block, and she says of this, here is a little block I made to contribute to the Quilters Guild of the British Isles COVID commemorative quilt, sponsored by Bernina. We love it, Marianne. This block represents my COVID bubble. Me, my niece, her husband, and their 2 adorable daughters who are 3 and 5. The background piece and the yellow fabric had to be part of the finished block, so I found some other fabric from my stash to go with the yellow. I started off using my machine's blanket stitch to finish off the edges of the raw edge applique, but the adhesive I used to fix them down gummed up the needle. And the needle and the stitches stopped forming, so I had to switch to hand stitching for the hands. A rookie error, she says. I used a Bonda Web Ultra instead of the lightweight stuff. Marianne, this is awesome. Your stitching is so precise, right? It's really beautiful. I used metallic thread for my hand, and the hand sewing hurt my actual hands so much I had to switch to 8-weight cotton for my niece's little hands. Oh wow, y'all, look at that. That's really great. I mean, that's so cool. The stitching looks wonderful. I mean, it looks like, what did she say? What kind of stitch was she using? It was hard work to push the needle through the Bonda web and 2 layers of fabric, but this block is destined for a quilt in the Quilters Guild collection, so I wanted to give it my best shot. For the past few months, I've been working on charity quilts for Afghan refugee families. I hope to get back to more of my own work soon. That's really awesome. You know what? It's another example of pastels and black. It works. The black hearts are really powerful, aren't they? Very, very well done. I love it too. Excellent. Good job, Marianne. Okay, Marta, are you in the chat? Okay, Marta, if you're here in the chat, give us a wave. Okay, Marta says, after finding the files this morning and looking at the tragic but happy ending story I had written for my brothers, it may not be the material for the parade you were talking about, or you were thinking about. Hold on. So she was talking about something else. Okay, so I've attached instead my third quilt, a variation on a Judy Martin Snake River design called Autumn Curves, Curve d'automne. It was my introduction to using lots and lots of tiny patches. This is really cool. This is really, really cool. I got a nice detail shot of this, and actually I'm going to go to this one. That is so great. I love the way the piano key border, like it really looks like, it really looks like piano keys sort of in play, actually, because of the way they sort of undulate like that. It's wonderful. I love it so much. It's just terrific. It's just terrific. Definitely a quack. And then you said lots of nice things. Thank you for always being you. You just saw me be very me. And you also said you liked it when me and my mom get together. Well, be at the show on Thursday because we will be cutting up. If you missed it, my mom's going to do a hot take on various quilts. And if she likes them, she gets to press this button. If she's so-so on them, she'll press this button. And if she's not a fan, she'll press this button. No one's quilts from this show will be in that show, obviously. It's really, really nice. Small Town Roots got flagged. And I think the mods are going to take care of it. That is hilarious. She said something was blowing her away. And this is the back. It's just great. It's just great with a nice label on it too. Good job. Oh, the back is awesome. I always like to, do something fun on the back because, it's the back. You can do whatever you want back there. You know what I'm saying? I love it. The back is amazing too. You're all very talented. You're all very, very talented. And Hicks. Okay, Marcia. So this is Randy's quilt. We'll have to, we're going to zoom in on this image. This quilt was made for my husband's cousin. Now, M. Hicks, will you confirm for me that this one's Randy's quilt and the next one is Dawn's quilt? I just want you to confirm because I don't want to mix them up because it's pretty important, okay? So, Randy's quilt. Okay. Randy's quilt. Excellent, thank you, M. Hicks. Was made for my husband's cousin, M. Hicks says, who went into the hospital today. So when you sent me this, that was that day, to undergo a bone marrow transplant for leukemia. He is looking at being in the hospital for 3 weeks at least, and then probably having to stay isolated in a small condo near the hospital for an additional 2 to 4 months. They're starting him on chemotherapy and radiation to blast his immune system in anticipation of the transplant that will take place in approximately 1 week's time. Update us, M. Hicks. Where is this in terms of when you sent me the picture? How is he doing? I dropped this off at the Long Armor the morning that you sent this to me. You said, hoping to get it back before he's released from the hospital. So that's Randy's quilt. It's beautiful. It's really wonderful. And I'm so glad that you made it for him. Wow. It's a very peaceful, calming, it gets a quack, but it's a somber, reverent moment. So I'll give you a quack before, the end of the show. Okay. And this is so cool. This is Dawn's quilt. This is from M. Hicks as well. This quilt was made for another dear family member. He's 81 years old, and he lost his wife over 60 years last summer. I had made a quilt for some friends of ours, and when I gifted it to them, he was there, and he asked me when he was getting his quilt. And I told him when we get together in the spring, I would have his done. I told him, and this is it. We camp together at our river property, and this will be for his camper to keep him warm at night. Oh, he's 81, and he gets to have it in his camper. And for the other. And did you share, no updates yet? Okay, so M. Hicks says of Randy's quilt. We'll look at the other one again. No updates yet. He had a port put in for his chemo, and his wife is staying. His wife is staying with you, M. Hicks, and will be back on Wednesday. I mean, all the good vibes. That's scary stuff. I mean, ports. It's terrifying. It's scary. It's really, really scary. But he has a quilt, you know, and that's like, I mean, everyone should have one when they're going through something like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is lovely. I love that this is a camper quilt, you know, like it totally makes sense. It's like a Northwoods kind of thing. I really think it's great. Very well done. Very well done. Okay. Mademoiselle Larry, otherwise known as Emily. After watching way too many Quilty and Missouri Star Quilt Company tutorials on YouTube, says Mademoiselle Larry, I began quilting. My first quilt was completed on December 2020, only using a presser foot on my domestic machine. Proud to be a third revivalist, she says. The third wave quilt revival. It stuns me how fast this vortex made of thread, lint, scraps, and needles became my lighthouse. Ooh, lighthouse. I love that word. Ooh. This picture was taken just before sending the top to a long armor. A new experience for this fourth quilt. This is your fourth quilt ever. Amazing. Letting go is a work in progress. Letting go is a work in progress in my case. This throw will be offered to my aunt going through cancer treatment. No one quilts in the family. I'm not even sure she knows I do. I'm sure it will be a surprise. Thank you so much in advance for all the quilt nerds sharing their thoughts and projects today. I know you'll inspire me. And then she says something in French that I can't even pronounce. I think I might have done better with the Chinese words earlier than I would do with French. These are great. These are just great. And I mean, if she is in France, which I believe she may be in France right now, she's asleep. But it's wonderful. It's so great. It's just great. Yeah, you are a quilter now. You've got a good sense of color, Padma says. I love patchwork, and the snow photo is fabulous. It absolutely is. It's so great. It's so great. And it's going to your aunt who's going through cancer treatment. I mean, another really beautiful quilt to keep her company. Oh, look at this fabric down here. That's really great with those hands. I love it. Well done. Well done. Bon chance, that's good luck. Bon courage, that's have courage. What is good luck? Hey, okay, it's you. Okay. It's you, Emily. Oh yeah. Okay, so here, let me put it in there. Yeah, I should give you, I mean, I should put in the chat what it is. Okay, yeah, it's got the E with the little hat on it. ETES. Formidables. With an exclamation point. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know how to say that second word, and I'll sound so silly. Okay. All right. We're okay. I mean, we're definitely over halfway through the parade, so nobody go anywhere. Okay, Molly squared. I started this is a short and sweet one. I started hand piecing this quilt, Molly says, in the early days of the pandemic. I quit hand piecing when I bought a featherweight named Kathy after Word and Bird Nerd. Molly named her machine Kathy because Word and Bird Nerd name is Kathy. That's pretty cool. That's Quilt Nerd magic. Thank you. Oh wait, no. Yeah, she bought the featherweight at QuiltCon. She did, didn't she? She bought that featherweight at QuiltCon, and she met Kathy at QuiltCon, and she named her sewing machine Kathy. I'm hand quilting this now, Molly says, and its recipient, Inez, her little daughter, loves it. That's so great. It's a postage stamp quilt, you know? Yeah, that's right, Kitty Hannah. You got it. That's right. We love it. Okay, and then this, you know what? There was a surprise around every corner. Look at this. M. Sujan. One image, a sentence about this. It's like kind of a mystery, you know, in a way. We want to know more. M. Sujan, cross-stitched by my mom 50 plus years ago. Hand quilted by me. Hoping to complete it this year. Look at this. Very cool. I mean, it's so neat. It's just really, really neat. Yeah, cross stitch, right, El Riggs? It's so cool. And I mean, yeah, the quilting is great. I think the quilting is a really good choice. That diagonal, keeping it clean, because the cross stitch is all curvy and floral. And I mean, well done. Very excited. We want to see everything. When you finish it, make sure to put it in the disco. Okay. Now, oh yes, yeah, I zoomed in a little bit so you can see it a little bit more. It's just great. Started over 50 years ago by your mom. That's wild. That is wild. Okay. Now I gotta go to this paper for Mother Nature. Mother Nature. I did a little screenshot action on that. Okay. I took a Cindy Griselda class, Mother Nature says. Sylvia. I took a Cindy Griselda class that was offered by my quilt guild. This is atypical for the type of classes they usually offer. Below are the pictures of the quilt I made during the class. The arrow, you see the arrow down there? See that arrow? That points to the inspiration fabric, which I bought in a scrap pack from Victoria Finley Wolf at QuiltCon 2020, right before the shutdown. Oh, we remember. Also, your quilt gets one of these. I don't usually work in these colors, so it was very different for me. Once I completed it, I loved it and named it Sedona Dreams and needed to label it. Soon thereafter was QuiltCon via Zoom. I used that as an opportunity, like QuiltCon 2021, QuiltCon together, right? I used this as an opportunity to take an improv class with Christina Camelli. I was so in love with the colors I had chosen for the previous quilt that I used the scraps for this quilt, which I call Sedona Dreams 2. Yeah, okay, this is this. Sedona Dreams 2. Great. Mother Nature, this is so beautiful. It's so pretty. And then the back, so the label, so that's a picture of the label that is going to be, that's being worked on. There was one other image part of it that I had to whittle things down a little bit. But this is just really, I love the colors. They're so good. And you know what? I mean, these colors aren't colors that I have in my stash either, like that sort of rust color, but it's so good with that bright blue. Really, really nice. Really nice. It's funny, Anne Hamill, Grover, early on in the show, she was working with greens that she doesn't like green, right? But then she started getting hand dyes, and she was hooked. She was hooked. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay. Okay. 2 ducks. Okay, here we go. Padma, your time has come. Padma says, "Here's my latest quilt. Obviously a pinwheel. We love it. I now know why most people mostly put sashing around pinwheels. They don't have to match up all those points between the pinwheels. Oh, it's so true. And they don't have to make as many." Yep, that's true. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about it. Padma, this is crazy. You did all those pinwheels. You matched them. You really matched them. Yeah, you sent me a detail shot, which is great because we can see you matching all those pinwheels. My first and probably last pinwheel quilt, she says. K Facets dot fabric with gray Kona cotton, stitched in the ditch, queen size. You made a queen size pinwheel quilt and it looks like this? You're amazing. That is so great. It looks so good. I mean, who doesn't want to sleep under that? Who doesn't want to wake up under that? It's great. And this is very good. Style shot, A+. Because, hey, eat your coat. This is a great style shot. Draping a big quilt over a door like she's done, just Remember that, folks. A very big quilt is hard to take a style shot of because it's so big and it's kind of hard to like drape it over a chair because it covers the chair. And anyway, but if you have a doorway, you know, put it up on a door and you can really see that's a great shot. I mean, that's like a cover shot, Padma, seriously. Very, very nice. Very well done. You did a very good job. We understand your pain. We get it. We all get it. Pemburrito. Oh boy, Pemburrito says, my nemesis and bearer of all my pandemic frustrations, Nebula. Bright and cheery, I came to omni-loathe making it. Omni-loathe making it. Such high hopes were dashed. We'll go back to this picture too. Such high hopes were dashed, almost no points match. Many colorful words were said around bias stretching, but it got done. I survived. Finished is better than perfect, and the friend it is intended for will cherish it. Thanks for everything you do. Nebula by Jaybird Designs. And these are really, really great detail shots, but let's just take a look at this beast. It's Nebula by Jaybird Designs, and it's a generous lap size. It's a 88 by 88 hexagon. Are you kidding me? This thing is amazing. Long arming was by Jessie at Bigfoot Quilts. This is just ridiculous. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I mean, I don't know what's wrong. I mean, well, no. Listen, I don't want to like minimize your frustration, your omni-loathing. Like, I see you. We all like see you. I mean, it looks really hard. It just looks like super hard. Yes, it looks super hard. I think there was another one. I put this one in. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. I think I was getting worried about my slideshow. So I think there was a second one. Okay. For now, this is what we got. It may actually be at the end. Okay. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Pemburrito, you are very, very valued in this community. I think you know that. The colors are gorgeous. I love the Tula and I love it all. I love it. Penny Catherine. This is really cool. So Penny Catherine, you get a blues, tans, and rusty reds in a southwestern blanket design made by Fussy Cutting. This is amazing. Fussy Cutting a variety of strip widths from 5 different fabrics. Amazing. It's called Scottsdale, number 19. Made for a nephew in Arizona. I had to redesign the pattern to increase it to a twin bed size. That also meant extending the length of the strips. I've never seen a quilt like this. This is unbelievable. I meticulously matched patterns to hide the join. I was concerned a blue or red binding would take away from the blanket design, adding a frame when none was wanted, so chose to use random scrap strips of the same fabric I used in the top and bottom border. Wow. Wow, I think you sent me, hang on. Yeah, a detail there. That's crazy. That's so cool. It's such an interesting hybrid. I mean, it looks like this, it's a hybrid between like a Pendleton blanket, and this quilt. I'm super impressed. I think this is really cool. And you say you finished the top in 2017, you completed the project in 2022. So it was a UFO for some time. It was an unfinished object, but you can always finish an unfinished object. You don't have to let it languish forever. You can finish it, just like Penny Catherine. 68 by 69. The original pattern was 48 by 65. The pattern is by Marinda Stewart. It's called Chisholm Trail or Buckaroo. Michael Miller Fabrics, quilted by Corn Wagon Quilt Company. It's really cool. Like a Myra, you're so fashion. Myra, did you put the thing about Chloe? The Chloe catwalk? No, it wasn't you. You people are very up on what's happening in fashion. I mean, Missoni, you're absolutely right. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I saw that. I mean, I was like, it looks like Pendleton blankets, but it's Missoni. It looks like Missoni. Okay. Okay, and then Aji's Elephant. This is Penny Catherine's. Bright teal, navy, yellow, and magenta rings on cream background with navy blue border. Oh my God. That's some of my fabric. It's some of my fabric in there. I didn't notice it until this minute. I really didn't notice it until right now. You guys, I had a fabric line for 5 seconds, and I loved doing it, but it's a long story for another day. Okay, created for a friend, Aji, which means grandma, in Mumbai, India. I chose this pattern because it reminded me of the colorful bangles/bracelets that she and her daughter would bring from India as gifts for my little girls. The quilt is an early 100th birthday gift. 100th birthday gift? Why wait to celebrate then when she can start? Why wait to celebrate then when she can start 15 years early? So she finished the top in 2019 and quilted it in 2022. It still needs binding. It is 96 by 96. And the original pattern, it was smaller. Pattern is Chain and Link by Elizabeth Daxon. And that was in the September 2013 issue of Quilty Magazine. And yeah, you added a small border to ground the bright rings. And the fabrics are Mary Fons, Small Wonders, World Peace, India. That was the line. And she says, Penny Catherine says, in Mumbai, the temps are 80s to mid-90s year-round. Lows are in the 70s to 80s. So I was asked to make it as a coverlet to fit the climate. So the batting is cotton muslin, and it was quilted by Cornwagon Quilt Company. I did have fabric for a hot second. I loved it. I would love to do it again. The first round was great. The second round, I don't know. I just didn't have as much control over it. Nothing against Springs. They were amazing. I loved working with them. I love them. But, you know, I was kind of naive, and I also didn't want to be, you know, demanding and be like, I hate that, you know, no. But the second line wasn't quite what I wanted it to be, and it didn't sell that well. The first line did pretty good. Anyway, okay, Prairie Susie. Prairie Susie says, we got to keep going. I got to keep it pushing. My goal, everyone's doing a great job. My goal for 2022, Prairie Susie says, is to complete 12 quilts. Some of them will stretch my design skills, some my sewing skills, and some will be meaningful as a bond with the recipient. I'm the sole caregiver to my husband, who has terminal brain cancer, and I often feel isolated and like a participant in the movie Groundhog Day. Many of my days are repetitive, though fortunately uneventful. Quilts are a way of marking time, an outlet for creativity, and they give me the feeling of accomplishment that I had in my career. Last year, I retired early to care for my husband. Besides these short-term projects, I'm also working on a hexie quilt. I have a vision of an impressionist landscape of a French countryside. And so she's working on this hexie quilt project, and what she's working on will take about 3,800 hexagons. She's got about 900 done, and she works on them while she watches this show with all of us. Okay. So you've got several things. Now I pulled out, I think, okay, yes. So there were several things. Now I think there were 3. Okay, let me talk about these pillows. Okay, the pillows. These 2 pillow covers have 4 quilted sides, so I'm counting them as one quilt. The fabric is Dwell, Impossibility by Gingerbread from Moda. The stars are made from half-square triangles and wonky stars, and they're for her daughter-in-law. And though I have known my daughter-in-law, Prairie Susie says, since she was in middle school with my son, this was the first time we collaborated on a project, albeit long distance. Invisible zippers on the sides. The sides caused you a lot of grief, but by the 4th try, you got them hidden very well. Yeah. I hand-quilted these pieces outlining the star shapes and the moth on the melon-colored square. Nice. I was enthralled with the view of the quilting from the backside. Oh yeah, I've got a picture of that. And plan on more hand quilting in later projects. Although not pictured, I did a label inside the invisible zipper. These are really, really pretty. I mean, I've never made, well, did I? I think I made a pillow for an episode of the TV show, but I've never done a pillow. It's so beautiful. So Lynn, look at this. Isn't this cool? Look at this hand quilting. This is the hand quilting, right? Oh yeah, the quiz. Oh my God, I forgot about the quiz. You know what? I think we want to make sure to get everybody's, yeah, we're really getting there. To get everybody's work in, and we're doing great, but we might do a quiz at the very end if people have the pep. Okay, and then, so there were a number of images from you, Prairie Susie, and I did my best to put in some good detail shots as well. What I loved from what you sent me, I had to make choices. Okay, I had to make choices. I had to be the editor here. So two of the pictures that grabbed me the most were these and the stories that you had to share about where you are right now and stuff. I love this. The labels. So you say so this is this is from a full size quilt that you're making from Cave Facet fabrics. You say I have loved bright fabrics for a long time and finally made a quilt just for me. This quilt makes me feel happy. It's a basic 4-patch with a corner cut twice and the middle piece rotated. Okay. And this year, and you say your sons, when they were young, you told them to sign their names to their work with pride, and they recently reminded me, she says, to do the same. This year, I'm adding labels to my quilts with the recipient, my name, and year completed. Yes. Okay. Just gonna make sure that this is like, yeah, okay. I'd like to point out the lovely miter achieved on this quilt. Okay, so here, this one, can you tell me, hang on now. Prairie Susie, are you in the chat? Are you in the chat? Are you in here? The pillows are so beautiful. Yeah, you know what? We really do want to see the Hexie quilt when it's done. Top row, middle row. Okay, here we go. So this is a detail shot of a throw quilter. Okay, Prairie Susie, good. A throw quilt made by Grace from Brenda Riddle. Throw quilt made from Grace by Brenda Riddle from Moda. Okay, it's a garden window pattern with floral fabrics. And it's a birthday gift for someone who is like a daughter to me, Prairie says. Her mother died this winter, and this quilt was made to remind her that the garden continues to bloom even after a long winter, and that hugs from me or the quilt are always there for her. The quilting, which you can see in this detail, I mean, listen, nobody does labels like this, you know? Like, they're really, really, really beautiful. The quilting, long-armed by a friend, adds texture but does not detract. For the label, the background fabric reminded me of the crewel kits from the 1980s, so I embellished the label with a crewel flower along with the recipient, maker, and year. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay? Okay. Whew. Guys, this is a long one. That's good, because that's what this is about. You're all very talented people. So the Quilt Nerd Parade is like, yeah, it's no joke. Okay, Peace, Love, Puppies. I used to work with this man named, okay, wait, hold on. Amazing, Prairie Susie. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Peace, Love, Puppies. I used to work with this man named Greg, says Peace, Love, Puppies. We always worked an early shift on Monday mornings together. Look at this note card. What could it mean? It was a great retirement job for both of us. So after a while, we got to know each other pretty well. One day he asked me about my quilting. He had a quilt top left by his mother and wanted to know if I would quilt it for him. Not knowing any more about it, I said, just drop it off to a long armor. As the weeks went by, he dropped tidbits of details about the quilt top. Finally, I told him to bring it in. That's the back and the top, as you all can probably tell. I couldn't believe when he brought it in. What a treasure. I gave him the name of a woman in Crystal Lake who does appraisals. sorry, who does appraisals, and told him to ask her what the best plan would be for the top. The last I knew, he's never done anything with it. He only lives in Kenilworth if you'd like to see it in person. He's a nice guy. So this is, yeah, I mean, that's so interesting. This is the woman, right, who made it. I mean, Emma Dunham Anderson. It's fascinating. It's really cool. It's beautiful. We just looked at a tumbling blocks quilt the other day. I mean, they do come up, but it's really great. It's a totally different layout. I love it. I love the red too. Made of cotton flour sack cloth. Look at what it says. They had flour in bags during World War II. This is pretty special. I mean, you don't always get this provenance, you know? Several years after the war, a lady we called Grandma Anderson made this for Grace Kidd Carissa, approximately 1947. She was a friend of Sally Kidd. Her real name is Emma. Oh, wow. Wow. That is so cool. It's a great quilt. I hope he gets it finished. It is really good. That's awesome. The note is everything. Exactly. And you know what? To the person who wrote that note, we like it. It's good. Okay, Quack Quack Cat. Quack Quack Cat says, there's a cat. By the way, we're going to see one more cat before the end of the night. We're at the queues. There's only a few left, people. There's only a few left. Yeah. Okay, we gotta go. Here is the 4x6 throw I'm working on, says Quack Quack Cat. I call it Pixel Reef. I haven't done a quilting project in years, but following Quilt Nerds made me realize I make too many excuses and I should just take something from my stash and complete a project. This is made with a lovely watercolor coral reef print that I bought in Hawaii when I spent the summer there in 1989. Nice. I bought yards and yards without a specific plan for it, so there's enough for the backing too. That is really great. 1989, you are really something. No, it's wonderful. It's really great. It's like, you did the thing with the friends. You did the thing with the friends where the coral reef pattern had like sort of that purpley lavender, and you tied it all in. And the coral, you see, you got the friend with the coral. I love it. Okay. The parade is happening, people. It's on. We're on a train. We're on a Quilt Nerd train. Okay, Quilty Mouse says, I'm working on Christmas stockings for my grandkids. I made 5 linen stockings with a muslin lining and a sawtooth star design. I have 8 grands and 1 great grand, so I have 4 to make. Oh my God. That's for all the 4 stockings. That you have to make. We just moved from Texas to Oklahoma and are currently living in a small RV while we build a house. I have a little sewing corner carved out for myself and my Juki. Are you serious? This is in the RV? Oh, I've pieced 2 quilt tops during my RV stay so far. Are you kidding me? A French rose quilt and a 6-point star. In your RV? That's amazing. You know what? There's no excuses, people. There's no excuses. You can always finish your quilt. It's just awesome. Paula Nadelstern, I don't know if she still does, but she had like a tiny little apartment in New York City, and Paula Nadelstern's work. It's so amazing, and you can't believe that she did all of that in a small, tiny apartment in New York City. In an RV. Quilty Mouse, you're the best. Rhonda Kernoodle. Rhonda says, briefly, she's like, the quilt speaks for itself. She didn't say that. I'm saying that. But this is what she has to say. This is my quilt. Cabin fever in the days of COVID. This quilt was in the Quilt Fest Virginia show. My first quilt in a national show. Yay! That is so cool. That's so great. And that's what you have to say. Thanks so much for Quilt Nerd. I absolutely love it. Cabin fever in the days of COVID. That is really great, from Rhonda Kernoodle. And it was in the Quilt Fest Virginia show, her first quilt in a national show. It's fabulous. You nailed it. Obviously. Love the use of the stripe. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Great. Shelley Sutton. trees quilt. Wait a minute. Hold on now. Hold on. Hang on. I had a number. Oh, no, here. Okay. This one, speaking of coronavirus. I mean, there's a lot of coronavirus, like, quilt stuff going on, but back to back, interesting. Weird things happen in this show. My Blue Corona. This is called My Blue Corona. Machine pieced and machine quilted on my Bernina, says Shelley. This quilt was started the first day of lockdown. It's pieced entirely from my stash. I quilted the dog out of it. That's awesome. I love that. It was finished 1 year and 1 week from the day I started it. Wow. Whoa, that is so cool. 1 year and a week. It's so great. I love it. I mean, that blue, and it was all from your stash. It's so good. You people are so good. You're so talented. And it has words on it, which, we're big fans of that around here. It's fabulous, Shelley. It's fabulous. And this one, what you're looking at is the inspiration quilt for the quilt that she made, which you'll see next. So the quilt that I made is inspired by an antique quilt owned by a friend, which is this. I started my quilt in the third quarter of 2011. In 2012, I had just finished the Stitch in the Ditch and was about to start the free motion quilting when I had 3 life events happen to me. So Shelley's quilt is there on where I'm waving my hand. That's Shelley's quilt, okay? And then the antique that inspired it is on the other side. So she started to free motion in 2012, but 3 life events happened. The first thing being that my daddy died suddenly, and I had to put the quilt away. I just had no energy for it. But fast forward to December 2021, I decided to enter it into the Dallas Quilt Show as an incentive to get this quilt finished. And I did. Woohoo! Nicely done. Nicely done. It's so, with the curves along those trees. Shelley. SJ Pepper, are you still in the house? You better be, because it's your time. It's your time, girl. We have like 10 slides left. Just about. Sarah Jane, if that is your real name, it is, says, this pattern is Snake Trail by Denise Schmidt. The arcs are pieced with low volume scraps, and the background is fabric that I dyed myself. Oh, really? A woman of many talents. It's a gift for a friend who's having a baby in May. Denise says in the pattern that there is a folk superstition that this design keeps evil spirits away from whoever sleeps under the quilt. Wow, does my pregnant friend owe me or what? Love it. Her baby could be possessed by evil spirits if it weren't for this quilt. You're ridiculous. I'm so glad you're here. Can't wait to hold that over this baby's head for its lifetime. Blackmail fodder is such a nice perk for quilting. She really is funny, y'all, isn't she? She's really funny. Thanks for displaying everyone's projects. I haven't been able to catch live streams recently, but I love to watch the replays. We know. No, it's great. This is really cool. And you hand-dyed that fabric yourself? I think we've got a lot of fabric dyers in here, I think there's, look at her feet. She's got such cute feet. I've seen now between the 2 Quilt Nerd parades, like there's a fair amount of people who are dyeing their own fabric. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really neat. This is really, really beautiful. Good job. And I'm not even kidding. I'm not even goofing off. Oh yeah, here's a little detail shot here. I'm not even goofing on you. It's just really great, Sarah Jane. Good job. Okay, Stephanie Cake. This is just ridiculous. Stephanie Cake, I don't know if you're here or not. I don't know if I've seen you, but you said you hope to make it tonight. The past couple weeks, she says, have been nuts, and I've missed so many live streams. You and the nerds are the best part of some days, for sure. I think she means the days she can catch the show. So I know about that. Work is crazy, girl. Just wanted to share 2 of my recent quilts for the Quilt Nerd on Parade. The COVID t-shirt, okay. Oh, sorry. The COVID t-shirt, I put her in the, look this, okay? I put her in the parade slide at the beginning. Okay, so the COVID t-shirt quilt. I've been telling people, it's my first t-shirt quilt. Did I do it right? And Magic Beans. That's the quilt you saw before, but I have to start with this. Oh, actually, it's all she says. She just says that this is her COVID t-shirt quilt, and she's been telling people, did I do it right? It's my first t-shirt quilt. And then the other one is called Magic Beans, and it's a mini quilt for, it was made for Uppercase Magazine's seed packets, open call, but it wasn't selected. Actually, has there ever been a better moment for that sound effect than this? Yeah, it should have been selected. But this is my favorite thing ever. Yeah, I want to look at this so you can see how odd. That didn't get selected for something? Are you kidding me? Magic Beans? Mother's Garden? Oh, are they... Are those like Mother's Little Helper? Are those Magic Beans? Is that... Yes, I see. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Stephanie Cake, you are hilarious. Magic Beans for Mother's Garden, a perennial favorite. It's like Xanax, y'all, and like Valium. That's so funny. Are you kidding me? Now I know why it's possible they didn't take it, because it's too fabulous. I want it. It's so funny, Stephanie. It's so good. It's so good. We love it. We hate them. Everything's perfect. You're fine, and everything's going to be fine in your life, obviously. It's so funny. It's so good. I mean, Stephanie Cake, you know you're in the right place, right? Like, you belong here. You belong with us. Everyone loves it. Yes, they're pills. Miscellany's like, Magic Beans is so cute. Are those pills? Yeah, they're pills. Does anyone know her IG? That is a very good question. Maybe somebody could find it. Stephanie Cake. Hang on. Let me just see if her email, I won't. Okay, so... I've got her full name, but I don't want to, you could find it if I give you her name, but I don't think I should do that. But Stephanie Cake, she'll come by and we'll get it. Oh yeah, and that's the label. That's the label for her t-shirt quilt. Nah. XXXXXXL. Okay, and then Sue. So Sue, oh, thanks, Ravel. God bless you. God bless you. All right, we're in the home stretch, you guys. And anyone who's toward the end of the parade, being the caboose is the best thing. It's the best. You're the caboose. It's hot. So Sue, I have your last name, Kotza, but I don't know what your screen name is. I don't know. That's another thing I got to ask people to do, is give me your Twitch name, But it doesn't matter. Sue is who you are. I'm sorry for the bad picture, Sue says, but it's the only one I have. I made this quilt for a male friend who retired. He lives in Portland, Oregon, and was raised in Seattle. That's where my husband's from. So I had a very strong Pacific Northwest theme in mind. I can't remember how big it is because I'm just an old hippie. I'm an old hippie 420 quilt maker. That's weird because we rarely have drug references on this show. I mean, it's rare. It's rare, but we just had 2 in a row. We had pills, and now we have you people. And there were geese, and there were animals earlier. It's wild. This is wonderful. It's lovely. It's so great. Look at the little tugboat or the barge. We have a barge. I don't think I've ever said the word barge on this show, but there's a barge. Who's making hexies? Somebody got a lot of hexies made tonight. The umbrella. It's fabulous. Sue, if you're here, you have to shout. You have to shout out. I didn't know. I couldn't figure out what your screen name was. But this is great. I'm sure your friend will love it. An old hippie, indeed. I'm just an old hippie 420 quilt maker. Oh, yeah. And then she said, heh. H-E-H. Heh. Susan R. Michael coming in with the austerity. 1 picture, 1 sentence. Susan R. Michael. Do you know what this quilt is called? I'm about to tell you. It is called, brilliantly, The Rise and Fall of Sherwin-Williams. And by the way, to my old hippie friend, in case you didn't hear it. Susan, this is awesome. This is 20.5 inches by 26.5 inches. It's an improv quilt, Susan says. And it is the Rise and Fall of Sherwin-Williams, and it's part of your White Field series. That is fabulous. It won a prize. Susan, what prize did it win? Oh, Stephanie Cake, you're in here. Did you put your IG in the chat? Stephanie Cake, you're ridiculous. Susan Armichael, this is your moment. What prize did it win? This is so great. This is like, it's a little Dusty Springfield moment. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. Let's take a look at the whole thing again real quick. And it's small. I mean, I didn't read the dimensions, before. 20 by 26. 21 by 27-ish, So, I mean, that's a mini, sort of. It's really, really, really beautiful. It won an honorable mention from Betty Busby. Well, hell yeah. It's fabulous. Okay, you know how many people are left in the parade? Two people. Don't you go anywhere. We've got our friend from South Africa, Tiki. Tiki says, "Hi, dear Mary. Here are some quilts I made and one Elaine made." Elaine is her 20-year-old daughter, who said some awesome stuff about quilt coats. Some of you might remember. So this is one of Tiki's quilts, and this is her daughter's quilt, Elaine. Elaine made the modern fish quilt for one of her clients who resides in London. And Tiki says that the quilts that she shared, the quilts that she is sharing, she just kind of says in general, my quilts are always inspired by whom I make it for and to be used day in and day out by the recipient. That is her goal with her quilts, whether for picnics or a warm hug, or as in the case of my grandchildren who even make tents with their quilts. It's always about the love. And there was a selection of like her different quilts and taken lovely photographs in the garden. I really like this red and white checkerboard. I really like that a lot. Oh yeah, hang on. Tiki, we're not finished here. You get a quack? Elaine, the 20-year-old who's making quilts with fish on them, she's going to be just fine in life. But just because we have a dog, we have to do a woof. I mean, come on. We haven't had a woof sound in this show yet, so now we do. We got to use it. And Tiki, very well done. A very, very nice job. And I love that you have this very specific style, this very specific point of view, and you can tell, when it's a Tiki quilt, you can tell. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Now, I want everybody to say the pictorials, exactly. Everybody say thank you, to Word and Bird Nerd, because Word and Bird Nerd, your screen name starts with a W. And I didn't know I was going to do things alphabetically, but when I was I had to figure out how to get all this corralled together, and it kind of happened that way. So you are closing the show. You're closing the parade. You're closing the parade and the show. And you've been very patient, and we love you. And we do. And we really appreciate you. And this is really cool because you did work as well to put this together for us. And it's a fabulous way to end. And thank you for being patient. And everybody, thanks for staying in. I mean, this is like the longest show we've had in a long time. So Kathy says, this is the first antique quilt I ever bought. It was from a live online auction, which was quite exciting. It's the Delectable Mountains pattern. Sorry, she says, for the sun shining through the back of the quilt. Personally, I love that. I think it's awesome. It's long, and it had to be held sideways. Oh my God. I just kind of noticed what's going on here. Hang on now. Hang on. Let me do something here. Because now I see it had to be held. Okay, hang on. It had to be held sideways. I was wondering about that. When it was like, when I saw the picture, I was sort of looking at it like how, like, I didn't know how it was waving in the air. I was like, wait, what? And now it makes sense because I see the hands. I see the hands holding it up. Who knows? I mean, at the end of the show, I figured it out. If it had come earlier, maybe I wouldn't have seen it. You'd be like, it wasn't hanging right. But I think it's wonderful that the sun is shining through. Anyway, okay, what attracted to me were the mistakes. Like Rod Kirikoff said, one of the quilts published in his book, he wondered, what happened, right? As a perfectionist, I've finally come to appreciate the imperfections in the quilts we've seen on Quilt Nerd. Yes, that's awesome. Imperfect is human, Kathy says. God bless you. 4 blocks, now look, and I told her she did work on this, so watch this. 4 blocks are turned the wrong way. One side has a strip of half square triangles. You know what? Let me hide. Hang on, I'm going to hide because I want you to be able to see just what she's saying here. One side has a strip of half square triangles that are not repeated on the other side. Several rows of small half squares run differently from other rows. I don't know how old it is, and I'm just now beginning to research it with the help of clues in the calico. I'm thinking perhaps late 1800s. It's hand quilted using 3 different colors of thread, mostly hand pieced, except I think the backing pieces might have been sewn together by machine. So let me show you this next picture. I'm going to have to turn it too. Hang on now. Because she so kindly pointed out these little spots. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. What? Well, there's something else over there. But down here you have these funky places. So cool. I love it too. Kitty Hannah says, looks like something my mom would make. It's so awesome. Next parade, I'm going to share some of my mom's quilts. She's amazing. That's so great. That's so cool. I love that. Oh, you all are so wonderful. SJ says, I love it no matter which direction it's held. What a wonderful quilt. I love the design. Exactly. This is, to me, this really is one of these moments because, honestly, like, not that there's anything wrong with what you were doing before, but, like, for you to embrace, this imperfection thing and, like, seeing things on the show that sort of have moved you in that direction of, like, yeah, the imperfections, they really are sort of wonderful, Oh, I just found another. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, yeah, look here. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going every which way, and it's just awesome. And I really do. I think the word soul, is applicable to these quilts that aren't perfect. I mean, they show like a personality. They show like the life of the maker, a life that is imperfect, right? Like everybody's. So, y'all, I love this show, and I have to say, like, people were really, y'all were hanging in there, and I don't just mean like, oh, you were hanging in there because it was so arduous, but it's really fun, right? Like, we really like to see this stuff. So I learned something tonight about just like about the flow. Like, it was really helpful to do this because the more, I'm going to leave this quilt up for the outro. I think the more that we do this, I'm really tired. The better I'm going to get at, like, here's the guidelines. No one did anything wrong, but I think for me, as I was putting it together and like setting things up, and Elle Riggs, you were so patient. Sorry, I kind of like, you get to go first next time. You do. But I learned about how to put things together a little bit, and but it was amazing. I think that was even more amazing than New Year's Eve. It's just so much fun to see all you and what you're doing and everything. And so, thanks. And I don't know if you had caramel corn or popcorn during the parade, but if you didn't, you should get some tonight or tomorrow to congratulate yourself, because it was an awesome, awesome parade and an awesome show. And my mom will be here on Thursday. The Thursday daytime show is going to go away. It's going to become a Thursday evening show. That's right. I'll be saying it a lot, and we'll be talking about it because the night has gone late. We're not going to do the quiz tonight, and I'll talk about the giveaway on Thursday too. 3 hours is like, that's pretty hardcore. It's Tuesday night. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. So I will, what time? Eat your coat. We're going to do probably 7 p.m. Thursday show, primetime show, because the midday show is great and I love it. I love doing it. But I want the, it's not, the midday show numbers aren't as, they're just not as, they're not growing the way I want them to grow. And I think it's because people are at work, imagine that. Thanks, Raffle. God bless you all. Thanks for hanging in. And I just am Sujan. Oh yeah, you got to watch the replay. Okay. You are very welcome. I will, and you did a great job. Everybody's just so good. Okay. Central Time. Yeah. And you're welcome, Stephanie Cake. I complete you. You made my heart sing with the Mama's Little Helper stuff. Okay. All the announcements, I'll repeat them again about the Thursday show change, about the giveaway. You didn't miss anything. Just tune in next time, watch the replay, and thank you to all the subscribers. There was like a flurry of subscriptions tonight. As soon as we get to 200 subscribers, I'm going to give that quilt away from Quilts for Kids Nepal. So don't miss a show, and you'll hear all of the good stuff. And there's so much good stuff. That's just, yes. Okay. I gotta go. I can't linger tonight. I'm falling apart. Thanks, everybody. Beautiful work. You're very talented and wonderful, and I think you're great. Good night.